Welcome to Pocono International Raceway. We are live with you on TNN, and because of a threat of rain late in the day, we won't have our usual pre-race. Let's go right to the starting grid. Ken Schrader is on the pole. Mark Martin's Ford is alongside. Bobby Hamilton third. That's Chevy Ford Pontiac in the front three spots. He's flanked by Ricky Rudd in row 2. Jeff Gordon and Jeff Bodine in the third row. Darrell Waltrip expects to go all the way today with those sore ribs. And Rusty Wallace in row 5. Morgan Shepherd and Bobby Labonte, Derek Cope and Greg Sachs occupy the 6th row today. Jimmy Spencer and Dale Jarrett, Sterling Marlin and Joe Nemechek takes you back through 16th. Hut Strickland and Kyle Petty, last week's winner. Brett Bodine and Bobby Hillen, that's the 10th row. Ted Musgrave, Ward Burton, Michael Waltrip and Dale Earnhardt back in 24th. Bill Elliott and Dick Trickle, Terry Labonte and Todd Bodine, 28th. John Andretti and Jimmy Horton in the Hooters car this week. Rick Mast and Dave Marcus with sore ribs from last week's crash. Poncho Carter and rookie Robert Presley. Jeremy Mayfield and Ricky Craven back in the 18th row. Jeff Burton along with Mike Wallace, Steve Grissom and Lake Speed. Those are provisional starters. Randy LaJoy and Chuck Bound. Doug French was the only car not to qualify. As they come around, turn number 3. Here's your AutoZone race analysis for today, brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. 42 cars in the field for the 200-lap, 500-mile distance. Alan Kulwicki holds the record for this race, set in 1992 at 144 miles per hour. We'll ride along today with the pole sitter in Bud 1, the Bud 1 ground ship, if you will.
On you stop first and just get see if she gets settled out here. Let's let us know how everything.
Kenny Schrader trying to end a 120-race victory drought. And right alongside on the front row, Mark Martin in the Valvoline Ford Thunderbird of Jack Roush. Behind the GMC Jimmy safety truck, those are the drivers you'll ride with today here on TNN. Welcome to our live telecast, everybody. I'm Mike Joy, Buddy Baker, and Ernie Irvin alongside as Randy LaJoy comes onto pit road, makes a stop, and goes back out to join the field. So next time by, we'll look for a green flag. Let's check quickly down on pit road where Glenn Jarrett and Randy Pemberton are today.
Well, one thing you guys have to realize out there in TV land, these guys got no practice on this racetrack here yesterday. Now, the bottom line is they're going to go out there, they're going to shake these cars down. Now, you're going to hear a lot about spring rubbers and a lot of chassis changes on the first pit stop. The bottom line is some of these guys have 4 rubbers in all the springs all the way around. Some of them will be taking them out, putting them in all day long. They'll be making chassis changes on the first stop. Glenn Jarrett, what do you got?
Well, Randy, a lot of concern, as always, here at Pocono is fuel mileage. I've polled most of the guys here in the top 20. Want to see how they do. The 2 best so far, Bobby Labonte, number 18, Darrell Waltrip, they figure they can go around 38, 39 laps. The guys the least, Michael Waltrip, Rusty Wallace, and Mark Martin, can only figure in about 32, 33 laps. That may change after the first caution or first pit stop.
Ernie Irvin, what kind of race do you expect today?
I tell you, I think it's going to be exciting. You know, probably some of the things that's going to make the race exciting is people haven't had no practice. So now we're going to find out how good they were when they showed up, and let's play a hard fact on the crew chiefs now to make the cars do real good.
You bet, buddy.
Well, Mike, the fans at home are fixing to see one of the greatest things in all of auto racing, 5 wide down the front straightaway, going towards a 2-lane first corner. So you guys are in for a great race here today.
The longest front stretch in Winston Cup racing, 3,750 feet, as the green flag waves. And we're underway here at Pocono.
Schrader got a real good jump on that start.
Look at him, 6 abreast. Oh, boy. Ooh, Bobby Hamilton got in front of Mark Martin, and they made contact as they went into turn number 1.
You see Joe Nemechek way up high there. That's not the place to be. There's no rubber down on that part of the racetrack. Very slick up there. He's wanting to get down low because the preferred line around this racetrack right now is right around the bottom through the corner.
Mark Martin caught up high, and Jeff Gordon takes advantage of number 24 underneath. This is for 3rd place behind Ken Schrader. Now, Darrell Waltrip did not get off to a good start as Dave Marcus works around the outside of Waltrip.
Mike, Darrell Waltrip is a very comfortable race car driver, and something's wrong with this car. He wouldn't be dropping back like that right now. He may have a plug wire off or something like that because he's definitely off the pace.
Waltrip hurt at Charlotte, expects to go all the way today. Now, Martin down to the inside behind the front 3 as Ken Schrader, Bobby Hamilton, and Jeff Gordon lead a 3-way fight for 4th place.
They better hook up quick because Bobby Hamilton's right up under the pole setter, Kenny Schrader. And you see Jeff Gordon there in 3rd spot. The rest of them better get in line and catch those guys because you can use the draft to get away from other cars here.
Darrell Waltrip dropped from 7th to last on the first lap of this race. 4th place, now it's Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd in 5th, and Rusty Wallace in 6th, battling Jeff Bodine. Bodine's car bounced off the wall in practice just before qualifying. They've only had 3 laps of practice all weekend here. Across the tunnel turn, there are your 3 leaders, and there's the separation back to that next battle.
Well, you can see the cars that are following people through there. You can follow a car through there and kind of gauge a little bit faster time through the corner by watching the car in front of you. So the advantage right now is not Kenny Schrader. You see Bobby Hamilton really eating him up there, but I think you're happy just pulling away from that next group.
3-car breakaway, 2 Chevrolets and the Pontiac of Hamilton. Little gap back to Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, Rusty Wallace, and Derek Cope. Well up among the top 10. Field hustles back off into turn number 1. Here's Glenn Jarrett, Darrell Waltrip's pit.
And Darrell is going to bring his Western Auto Chevrolet in, Mike. They lost a cylinder on the start of the race. They do not know why. They are hopeful, praying that it is nothing but a plug wire, but they are down a cylinder and have to bring him in, check him out.
Waltrip is on pit road. Field across the tunnel turn. And let's go back to Glenn.
And Waltrip brings the car in. You can hear the engine misfiring, and there's a lot of smoke. It's more than a plug wire, I'm afraid. Yeah, there's a lot of smoke. I can smell oil smoke coming out of it, so he's got a serious problem. Man, what a terrible break. He had such a good car. Was looking forward to his first full run. He has shut it off. We'll try to get a word with him a little later on.
Schrader has led every lap so far. Bobby Hamilton and Jeff Gordon trying to check out on the field. They are not as close together as they look from this long shot.
Yeah, but Mark Martin, sitting back here in 4th place right now, has a very strong race car, and he's the type of driver to sit back here and bide his time a little bit. Find somebody he feels comfortable running in traffic with, and he'll make a move back on this front bunch.
Randy Pemberton.
Hey, just to let you guys know, the 28 car has radioed in, Dale Jarrett has. He has a bad vibration. Just a quick note, we'll keep an eye on Dale.
Again, remember, there was no practice at all yesterday as he works under Greg Sachs, the Kendall Oil Pontiac. And right with him, Sterling Marlin.
Well, you see Greg Sachs moving out there. Here comes Jarrett. Oh, 3 wide, going down into the flat corner. Somebody has to give here.
Sterling Marlin took the nose of his Chevrolet out of that fight, and he's into Jarrett.
Man, he's in trouble.
Who is into the wall. Caution is out.
Sterling got in the back of him right as they entered in the flat corner coming towards the front straightaway there. Man, what bad luck that guy has.
Yeah, I tell you, it's kind of one of them racing deals. Dale had made his move into the corner, and it looked like he had got a little bit loose getting in there, and ended up Sterling got into him.
Rear end is bent way over.
You see Greg Sachs drove her in there. He's checking up just a little bit. Sterling's coming in. He makes contact right here, gets the back wheels real light, and he turns sideways and runs backwards up towards the wall.
For the 2nd week in a row, the Robert Yates Haviland Ford is into the concrete very early in the race. 3 laps last week at Dover, 4 laps here at Pocono. TNN Motorsports live coverage from Pocono, Pennsylvania continues after this.
Genuine draft Rusty Wallace stock car. Off. One opened up. This is Dale Jarrett's NASCAR. You can't get his engine, you can't get his tires, but you can get his motor oil. Texaco Haviland Formula 3. It's formulated to control volatility and fight oil vaporization. It provides complete protection, and it's the exact same Haviland you can buy right off the shelf, which, by the way, is a heck of a lot easier.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the stars.
NASCAR drivers say there's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. So when they take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common: the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn. So which brand do NASCAR drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
after Sunday, we believe in putting on our best. Maybe that's why no car company has won more races in the history of NASCAR than Chevrolet.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. By Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. By Chevrolet. The cars and trucks 36 million people depend on every day. Genuine Chevrolet. By the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts. And by Splitfire, the patented performance spark plug. It only costs more till you use it.
Welcome back to Pocono. We're under a crash, under the caution for a crash by Dale Jarrett at turn number 3. A number of the cars made pit stops. First to Glenn Jarrett.
We're standing by in the 4 pit right now, and Dale Jarrett has come over to crew chief Tony Glover. Of course, Sterling Marlin, we showed, had gotten into the back of Dale. He came over and asked him to ask Sterling just basically what he was thinking about. Dale's a little upset right now. He does not want to talk to us. But he basically asked Tony Glover what Sterling was thinking about. This is second week in a row, like Mike said, that Dale had been taken out by someone else's actions or misdeeds, however you want to term it. But honestly, he's my brother. It doesn't matter who he is. There's not much point in that having those things happening this early in the race. There's 500 miles to go. I certainly understand how he feels. While we were away, a couple of cars that qualified pretty well made pit stops. Bobby Labonte, who started 10th, made a pit stop, changed all 4 tires, and made a major adjustment on the chassis. He was very, very loose. Kyle Petty also came in last week's winner, and he made a major adjustment on the chassis. Most of them adjusting the track bar. This is a new tire that they're running here at Pocono. It's got more stagger in it. The cars are loose. They didn't get much time to set them up. Randy?
Well, I'm glad you answered that question as to where Dale Jarrett went. We were here in a flash. The car was sitting in the garage area, no one in it, smoke billowing from it. Glenn and everybody out there, it's rear end all knocked out of it, of course. They're going to have to change the drive shaft as well as probably the trailing arms. Fuel cells pretty much nailed in on it. Just this team just shaking their heads. They cannot believe the luck that they have had out here in Winston Cup racing this year. Upstairs.
That car has completed 5 laps in 2 weeks.
Man.
And again, in both cases, because of contact from the rear. It was clear from the replay that Dale Jarrett entered turn 3 slower than the car in front of him that he had checked up. Not clear what caused the contact.
Well, Mike, what he had to do, Greg Sachs drove in on the outside and took the preferred line, so he checked up just a little bit. Sterling had a full head of steam, and he cracked him in the back end. I mean, I'm sure Sterling didn't mean to do it, but he did get in the back of him, turn him right around.
We'll look for green this time by after the first caution of the day, coming out as they completed 4 laps here. Starter Doyle Ford telling him to hold it down for the restart, and now we are back to green. Jeff Gordon got quite a start and gave Bobby Hamilton a start, taking second spot.
Well, Mike, you can't pass on the inside, but Bobby Hamilton, for some reason, well, he got the spot back. No point in explaining what happened there because he's back now. You see Gordon looking to the bottom side, though. Hamilton is a little bit high there coming out of the corner. I'd say down the back straightaway, he's going to lose several spots getting into turn 2.
Look at them line up on Bobby Hamilton.
They'll all get in a row right now. And, Bobby will have to come in about 4th and 5th.
Boy, it's a shark pool out there when somebody gets the least little bit out of line, isn't it?
It is. And, later into the day, we won't have that problem. But, you can really watch these guys getting into turn 3, and it's amazing that, you're all single file now.
Now, Sachs and Sterling Marlin side by side.
Yeah,
turn
Sterling's
3.
there this time. Sachs drove in hard, but he's going to lose some spots there, and everybody's dropping in behind Sterling down the front straightaway. That's Hut Strickland in the 26, the green car there. Just behind him is Musgrave. Give us a great race. Finished 3rd last week in Dover.
Hut Strickland looked way inside of Sterling Marlin, and they line back up for turn 1. Right down on the apron. Against the curbing is Hut Strickland. Well, who will Musgrave go with? That may determine. Nope, they're back in line. Single file.
Sachs is flying, man. He's running well. He pulls back to the inside, trying to get that inside line back.
It looked like Sachs actually pulled to the inside to try to make sure Teddy couldn't get down under him. And, you know, once he gets in line, then they'll all run about the same speed.
Oh, here comes Strickland. He wants Sterling Marlin's spot.
Boy, that car is strong across that short tube, Ernie.
Yeah, it really is. You know, maybe the gear ratio is really a little better than Sterling.
Sterling's back under him again.
Yeah.
That looks like...
We've seen this move before.
Yes, we have. I tell you what, you get a little bit out of the groove here, offline just a little bit, and you can lose 5-6 spots without any trouble.
Here comes Musgrave. Puts the Family Channel 4 down underneath Greg Sachs, who had poked out a line looking for Hut Strickland. They get back single file before they get in the corner. And Bobby Hamilton trying to move back up underneath Ricky Rudd's Tide Ford.
Well, you see just behind them, moving in there at the number 2, Wallace, and Rusty Wallace runs this racetrack. Very heady, he's very smart. And this area right in this part of the racetrack is like a road course, and I don't have to tell you how good he is on those.
Boy, Greg Sachs is now moving on the outside of Brett Bodine.
See Earnhardt trying to pass on the outside. He'll get the Attaboy award if he pulls that one off through that corner.
Looks like he's going to pull it off, to tell you the truth. He's really got the preferred line coming out of the corner. And now the 11 car actually out-accelerates the 40 car. Looked like Earnhardt was going to make it, but it does. You know, you really have to have a good shot coming off of turn 3 to have a good straightaway speed.
Sachs says he's going to make it outside work whether it works or not. You see him out there, he's losing spot after spot, but that can be because the car is not able to stay on the bottom of the racetrack, right, and he's using as much racetrack as he can.
I know to tell the people, you know, we actually look at this racetrack. Everybody looks at it a different way, but we actually look at turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3.
All right, Greg Sachs battles Todd Bodine here. There's Jimmy Spencer in the picture, 23. And moving up, Bobby Hillen in 77, the Jasper Engines car.
It's good to see them on a good run.
Yes. Move back up front. Kenny Schrader has led every lap so far, but now his Hendrick stablemate Jeff Gordon closes in on the rear bumper. We'll be right back with you live here on TNN.
Today, millions of Americans are running faster with the same size engines and farther on the same amount of fuel. Millions have discovered the patented advantages of the split-fire spark plug, a difference that delivers on every stroke of every piston. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs, a 4.8% gain in mileage. If you're not running the split-fire, you're probably behind someone who is. Split-fire, more power and more mileage for your money back.
There's an unexplainable phenomenon haunting Pizza Hut. Is it an otherworldly spirit compelling people to eat their pizza the wrong way? No, it's new stuffed crust pizza with a ring of cheese and the edge of a new, thinner crust.
Incoming!
And with a large, just $9.99, every living person will be eating it the wrong way, crust first.
I'm eating like a fleshy too!
You'll love this stuff we made at Pizza Hut!
Right now, with any purchase, get a hand puppet from the movie Casper, only $1.49, and only at Pizza Hut.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASE certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now. Stopping your car is important. At Pep Boys, our ASE certified technicians understand that. Now get our premium $99.99 brake service for only $59.99 after rebate. Raybestos lifetime brakes installed only $59.99. Come to Pep Boys now.
They're the leaders here at Pocono. Ken Schrader leads, but he and Jeff Gordon swapped the lead back and forth while we were in break. Here's the first pass.
Well, Jeff's moving to the inside there on Schrader and makes it look pretty easy, but just after he passes him, he picks up a direct push in this car, and it really gets bad.
That happened coming out of turn number 1. Here Schrader will make the pass back. This happened while we were away.
That tells you what team means when the race starts. There is no team.
And up front now, Bobby Hamilton wants to lead. Ken Schrader says, I don't think so.
And he's definitely not on Schrader's team.
Right.
And there's Richard Petty. He's probably adjusting his hat in the pits right now. This has got to make him feel great. Bobby Hamilton's been up front most of the year. Look at this car really go down the straightaway. He's riding a rocket.
They really do have a really good motor in that car.
You're in Kenny Schrader's car.
You can see Jeff Gordon, too. He was way wide. He's going to lose some spots because the car is not able to stay on the bottom of the racetrack.
Looks like Rusty Wallace is down under Jeff now, going to get into the tunnel turn.
Here they are. Here's that battle for third place. Wallace is trying to bring Mark Martin along with him.
Now, Rusty will probably try, well, he's going to wait till the front straightaway. That's a pretty tight corner to make it real wide. He's diving as I say that. Getting in the corner.
Thank you, Coach Baker.
That tells you what I know about Rusty Wallace is waiting on anybody.
All right, you're in Mark Martin's car, and Sterling Marlin has caught the lead pack.
Well, Mike, this is a classic example. When the chassis goes away at this racetrack, you can be running so well down the straightaways. Does not mean a thing. It's all corner here.
Yeah, you could be Hercules down the straightaway, but you got to get through that corner.
Well, what's happened to Jeff Gordon's car, Glenn?
Mike, they're trying to figure it out. I talked to Ray Evernham. He's talking to Jeff now. This racetrack is so big, they only have communication with them, good communication. As they come down the front straightaway, their radios won't reach back to the other side, so Ray's talking to him. He said that Jeff told him all at once the car just went to junk. He didn't know what had happened, and Ray told him back on the radio, said, okay, just take it easy, cool it for a while. Maybe it'll come back. They feel like that he, on that charge to the front, he might have just overheated the tires.
We'll see. Now, is there something, Hank, what's that waving off Bobby Hamilton's bumper?
That's probably the air. He's running so well. It's probably it's vapor.
Or is that, remember on the first lap going into turn 1, he and Mark Martin got together.
They did touch a little bit. It's just a piece. That's nothing. That won't bother anybody. That's not a black flag there, folks.
Fiberglass was part of the rear bumper cover. Going into turn 1, he had passed Mark Martin, and Mark got a nose into him right there as they made a little contact.
Remember Charlotte, Kenny Schrader was running awful good and broke a motor or something. He's running good again here. Him and Bobby are two of the best cars.
Now for fourth place, Mark Martin and Sterling Marlin. There's Jeff Gordon right back at them. And it's a gap behind them.
Mike, if Jeff is really pushing as bad as he looked like he was, the best thing he can do is stay with traffic like that and just drive along behind them and let it loosen them up in the windstream there. Wow.
Ooh, Morgan Shepherd.
Beating time in the aquarium.
Down to the inside, and Black is back for Bill Elliott.
Now you see Bill Elliott check up there. If he hadn't, he'd run right into Todd Bodine and had a chain reaction there.
Elliott's back in Batman Black this week with the 94 car.
There's a whole line of cars right there. They're all running about the same speed.
Schrader says, I want to lead as many laps as I can. He goes back under Hamilton, takes the lead away again. Look at Rusty Wallace coming in the picture there, though. That black car does not like to run third, I can tell you that.
Penny's cars run well here. Last year, Wally Donnebeck led this race driving number 43.
I think Richard Petty's cars run well most places. They have a lot of problems, you know, in pits and stuff various times this year, but that race car has been very, very competitive all year.
Here's your Napa running order. Napa, we keep America running. We'll show you how they're running. Here at Pocono, 17 of 200 laps are complete. 500 miles of scheduled distance. Threat of rain late in the day. But we've been assured that we'll get at least halfway and then some.
Well, they asked me who was going to win this race today, and I said Rusty Wallace. That's going out on a limb. But, boy, that car is working now.
It's a pretty big limb.
We know you, buddy. You always go out on a limb.
That's no sapling you're going out on, you know.
Well, they asked me in the meeting this morning, folks.
He's there just ahead of the 43 of Bobby Hamilton. Ken Schrader leads. Rusty Wallace is second. Bobby Hamilton third. And Sterling Marlin in the 4-car looking for the third spot, and he overtakes Bobby Hamilton going off into turn number 2 over the tunnel. TNN Motorsports live coverage. You just can't get any closer. We'll continue after this.
On the road again, I just can't wait to get on the road again.
Now, get on the road in this custom racing jacket for just $19.95 when you buy 4 General, Continental, or Hoosier brand tires. And while you're at it, play our winning drive contest for a chance to win a trip to the General Tire Hoosier 500 in Atlanta.
Sooner or later, you'll own Generals.
This summer, Napa's keeping America running at about 200 miles per hour with the Road to the Championship sale. You could win an incredible trip to the Napa 500 in November, as well as Napa racing jackets and more. Also, pick up Autolite resistor spark plugs, just 44 cents, and Napa silver air filters from only $3.49. But hurry, these days everything's going fast at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
Kenny Schrader leads here, and Rusty Wallace wants that lead. Sterling Marlin, that car has been a rocket as it's come up through the field. He and Wallace both. Rusty started 8th. Sterling started way back in 15th.
Mike, we're riding with Mark Martin right now coming out of turn 2. This race car is so good. He was out of the frame just a second ago. Now he's moved back into contention here. He's running this race the way you have to run it, make adjustments on the pit stop to win a race.
I thought you picked Mark to win the race.
Okay, since he's coming up, that'll work. I'll change.
I could be wrong.
Hey, I'll change, guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Ernie, you were in the meeting.
I didn't ever hear him say Rusty.
That's okay.
You see Jeff Gordon, he's following these first 6 cars right here. Now, just a second ago, he was complaining about the car, but it looks like it's coming back in just a little bit. You see him back in there.
Oh, Rusty got loose coming out of 3, and then got into Schrader after Schrader got a little loose.
Front straightaway. The lead may change hands here.
Oh, no, they dropped back in.
Not this time. That turn 3, that's a tough corner.
It really is. You know, you really have to have a real good shot of that corner coming off the corner and able to do that. Here comes Sterling by Rusty. They're going to be side by side getting into the tunnel turn, and somebody's going to have to give there.
Sterling got up under him coming out of that corner there, Ernie, and you could see Rusty's car get loose coming out, and he had to go up higher on the racetrack to catch it, and I guess Sterling second place.
Didn't you pick him too this morning?
Anyway, here we go.
All right. Schrader has the lead, but they've been knocking on the door. Sterling Marlin is the yellow car, the Kodak Chevrolet. Right behind him, the Miller Ford of Rusty Wallace and the STP Pontiac of Bobby Hamilton, all chasing the Budweiser Chevy of Schrader.
Now here comes Jeff Gordon. He's got by Mark Martin. So you see these 2 cars. I mean, that happens here. A lot of times you'll get in that outside groove and that car will take off on you, and it'll take you a couple of laps to get everything running again on yourself, not the car.
I tell you, the draft really makes a big effect here, and you know, especially when somebody gets up under somebody coming out of turn 1. They're
like
Jeff,
now,
just
Jeff
like that.
Got in there and slid up a little bit. Now Mark's probably going to get the fifth position, but before when Rusty did, somebody got up on his bumper, Sterling did, and that made him loose, and it just slows him down, and you're slowed down the whole back straightaway until you can get into that tunnel turn, and then you make it to the left, and then you're back up to speed.
For the lead, Sterling Marlin.
Wow. I'm telling you, that car is going across that short chute. Now watch Schrader. He'll get back under him. These guys love to race. I tell you, there's nothing better than having a good race car at Pocono, because you can change the lead 3 times in 1 lap here.
Now, one thing that's not readily apparent from what you're seeing or even what we hear sitting here at the racetrack is that these cars don't necessarily run in top gear all the way around this super speedway.
I tell you, good thing you brought that up. But you know, basically everybody, the majority of the cars are shifting today. They have a Jericho transmission, and what they're doing is about the start-finish line or a little further down, they shift into high gear. With going into turn 1, they'll downshift to 3rd gear. They'll run 3rd gear, most of the cars all the way back around to the start-finish line. Some of the cars are actually running a different gear ratio. They'll shift about the start-finish line, downshift into 1, and then shift again into 4th about the middle of the back straightaway, and then downshift again getting into turn 2, and then run 3rd gear back to the finish line.
That's the spotter telling Kenny Schrader there's a car inside him. That was Rusty Wallace, who takes over second spot. So for some of these drivers, Ernie, not a super speedway. They drive this like it's a road course with all left turns.
That's basically what it is. You know, Buddy Becker was saying that today. And it's a road course, but it's got all left turns. And it's a really unique racetrack. And when you get a car here and you really like to run, it is a lot of fun. It's a different type of road course, but it's a real fast road course.
You're inside Schrader's car there. You can see it move high on the corner there, going into turn one. He loses the position there for fourth place. Or no, that was the second place. You can see Schrader go in the corner and just wash way out. Now, that's what happens here. A lot of times you'll have a car that works for 10, 15 laps, and all of a sudden you'll get a push or a loose condition, and all of a sudden you'll drop back and you'll think, what in the world? And all of a sudden the track will come back to you again. That's why you see cars look real strong and look like they're off the pace and then real strong again.
That's what happened to Jeff Gordon. Got to the front, car drifted back. Now he's on the march back toward the front again. 24 laps are complete. Sterling Marlin is the leader, and he is trying to drive away. We'll be right back.
1,000 pounds of steel, endless blacktop, wind and sky, free forever. Then you leaned into a turn that took you toward a job, a house, heavy.
Now you're revving up the saw.
Buying plywood, lumber,
Patio doors.
and ply bead.
Selecting shingles. Windows.
Picking vinyl siding to separate your home from the elements and from the rest of the pack.
Georgia Pacific, we help you build on your imagination.
From Darlington to Talladega, through Daytona, Rockingham, and Watkins Glen. In every major NASCAR race, Busch Beer recognizes the pole winner with the Busch Pole Award. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, everyone follows the leader. Busch Beer, proud sponsor and official beer of NASCAR.
If you got lots of leisure time and nothing else to do, and wanna be happy as we, just grab your hat and get your boots on. Pretty soon you'll be long gone to the cowboy.
Championship Rodeo on TNN tonight.
She hates her husband.
Some bimbo moves into my house, my life, I get nothing.
She hates her boss.
Don't you dare threaten me.
They met by no accident.
I'll get rid of Holtman for you. Right, and I'll get rid of Jack for you. You've got what you want. Now you have to do it.
Accidental Meeting, an encore presentation of a USA world premiere movie.
More choice, less money, Paragon Cable.
The fiery horse and a hardy hi-ho king. It's the Lone Ranger.
You know, you won't get horsed around when you buy a car at Used Car King. Late model cars and trucks, all safety inspected and warranted, with bank and GMAC financing available. Used Car King's been around a long time, just like King and me, right, King?
Hi-ho, King, away. Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of The Lone Ranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
26 laps complete at Pocono. Sterling Marlin is taken off into his own time zone here. Here's how the Winston Cup points look coming in here. Brought to you by Haviland Formula 3 Motor Oil. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. Sterling 100 points behind Dale Earnhardt in the quest for the Cup. Jeff Gordon just 6 points back of Sterling. Mark Martin in fourth, and Ted Musgrave just a point away from his Jack Roush teammate in fifth. Boy.
Wow. Schrader was loose off in turn 3.
Ernie, you got to stay still in there. You just about hit me with your elbow there when it got sideways. Here comes Hut Strickland trying to get the spot away from Schrader on the bottom side. He checks up. He said, not yet. I got a pretty good race car, and he's not going to take any foolish moves right there.
An early and perhaps unscheduled pit stop for Ricky Rudd in the tied Ford.
Well, Mike, you know it's a guess for everybody as far as setup right now. And if you're a little bit off, it's better to come in and fix it right now and get on fresh tires and get back out there and make some time.
Here's Glenn.
Well, Ricky Rudd has brought the Tide Ford in, and most guys, we're hearing them on the radio, guys, they're talking about tires. They all want different tires. A couple of them are going to make some chassis adjustments. Of course, this will be a 4-tire change. And as I said earlier, this is a new tire. They had no idea how it was going to do. under race conditions. They didn't know how to exactly set the chassis. They got no practice, so they're having to learn during the race. 4 tires and fuel, that's all, Ruts, down and away. We're going to go back down to Mark Martin's pit in a minute here. He seems to have lost radio communication. They're going to try to get him another earpiece. I'm watching him tape it on the long stick that they used to clean the radiator and hand him a drink of water with, or the one they used to hand him the water with. We're going to see what the problem is. Mark should be in just a second.
His teammate Ted Musgrave is in right now as Ricky Rudd comes back up to speed. 29 laps complete as green flag pit stops begin.
Well, you see Ricky Rudd's a lap down right now. If the caution comes out, man, he's in big trouble because Sterling has got by him. Now, one thing that can happen to Sterling Marlin, he probably feels that this car is perfect right now. Everybody else is going just on their cars, and if he thinks he's right, everybody else makes a decision to make a bunch of chassis changes. He may not be the fastest car after they stop.
Sterling started 15th. There's his progression to the front at 29 laps. He has led 5 races this year, and they've all been on the big tracks: Daytona, Darlington, Talladega, Charlotte, and now Pocono.
The Pocono, is that what he's going to call it? I guarantee you, he's won on the racetracks that start with D, so he's going to call it the Pocono probably. But I tell you, Sterling Marlin has a very, oh, these guys are killing me up here, folks. Anyway.
Ken Schrader and Mark Martin are on pit road. Let's go to Glenn.
Well, as I said, watch Schrader and Martin look like they changed the positions coming down pit road there. Mark Martin does have a radio problem. He cannot hear crew chief Steve Meal, but he can hear the spotter, and the spotter can hear Steve. So it's having to kind of relay the communications. They are giving him an extra earpiece. He's going to try to change it himself if he gets a caution. But other than that, Mark radioed in. He thought the car was probably okay. They just wanted to try tires. There is no chassis adjustment. Tires, fuel, and the new earpiece he's away. About 20.5 seconds for both of them. They came in together, so between 20 and 21 seconds. Pretty good stop for both teams.
Now, it looked like they made an adjustment on Kenny Schrader's car, and Buddy, it wasn't the normal jacking bolt adjustment in the rear.
Well, they went down on the right rear,
which is the Panhard bar adjustment. Now we got Sterling Marlin going to pit right now. And here, Randy's got that pit.
Well, Tony Glover and the guys waiting for Sterling to come down pit road. 65 miles an hour on pit road today, about 4,400 RPMs in second gear. It's going to be a 4-tire stop. Obviously, the car a rocket so far. No special changes for Sterling. Haven't seen a wedge wrench go in yet. They're around the left-hand side. 1 pump up on the jack. Left side tires going in. Second can of gas is in. Important to get every drop in. I think they did get it full. 19 flat for Sterling. Good stop.
Joe Nemechek in just behind him. Terry Labonte, Bobby Hillen on pit road. So is Todd Bodine, Jimmy Horton, Rick Mast, and the 40 car, that's Greg Sachs. Here's Glenn.
All right, well, now we're in the champion Dale Earnhardt pit, and boy, what a good pit stop. I was looking at one of the crew members on Ken Schrader's team, Ken Church, had fuel splashed in his eyes. They're trying to wash that out right now, but I didn't get a clock on Earnhardt. It looked like an awfully good stop. Again, 4 tires of fuel. I did not see an adjustment. Oh, wait a minute. They did make a slight adjustment. I'll get with Andy Petrie and find out exactly what that was.
Todd Bodine completes his stop as Bobby Hamilton, Rusty Wallace, and Jeff Gordon and Jeff Burton come to pit road. Pit road here at Pocono is wider than the straightaways on many of the Winston Cup racetracks. A lot of maneuvering room, so you try to get it into that pit stall to get the job done.
The other thing is we have to tell you that we really didn't get any pit road speed until the actual pace car come out on the racetrack today. Usually we do that the day before.
Timing Bobby Hamilton on the A1 Steak Sauce Pit Stop Time Clock, brought to you by A1 and Spicy A1 Bold. Together, their house steaks are done. 19.4 for Hamilton. Robbie Loomis in the STP team.
Well, I was watching Jeff Gordon's car. They just did a minimal 1 round down on the right rear on that car, so it wasn't that far off. Apparently, the car was just very close, and if you drove it in the corner hard, it pushed out on it.
Hut Strickland has had a great run so far. Quaker State Ford on pit road. Let's go to Randy.
No question about it, Mike. He's been hot ever since he got in the car, including the road race out at Sears Point. Had a good run there. Waiting for Hut to hit his mark. He does so in the Quaker State Ford. They go to work on the right side. The only chassis adjustment that he wanted was a little air pressure change in the tires. Other than that, no major chassis adjustments, although that could be considered major. Left side tires going on, a couple of pumps with a jack, second can of gas already in. Hunt with a great run going, wants to keep it going, down and away. 18.6, good stop.
Great stop. Hut Strickland was 7th at Charlotte, 4th at Dover, and in this race he started 17th and got all the way up to 6th before pit stops began. He has now led 1 lap.
That's probably one of the best stops we saw all day.
Hutt finished 4th here in 1991.
Well, I tell you what, whoever buys this team is going to get a quality team. Bernstein is going to sell at the end of the year in the 26 car. It's such a good race car. It's a shame to see him get out of racing at the end of this year because I think they have a driver and everything put together now to have a great race team.
Jeff Bodine here battles Greg Sachs.
Buddy, why don't you buy that team?
I was just going to ask that.
You could be a car owner.
Look at this great race going down into turn 1. Jeff Bodine picks up the throttle, powers off the corner, down the back straightaway. Mike?
We'll ask you again later. Greg Sachs right behind him. But he's been a team owner.
Yeah, I know he has.
Right.
And he had a lot
he
of
knows
fun.
There's a lot of money in racing. He put some of it there.
Yeah, but he was a team owner and a driver mostly. So maybe now he needs to start with the deal about being an owner.
Well, you're a truck owner. How's it going?
Man, Jeff Bodine's really going down.
Yes.
Jeff Bodine leads this race. Remember, he stopped under the first caution flag to make an adjustment in his XI batteries Ford.
I'm glad you told us that because I didn't know why he had to lead. Now
Mike, as we speak, he's coming down pit road again into the pits right now.
And he's pitting on lap 34 right now. He's going to be actually lap 35. So, basically, a lot of the guys think they can go 33 to 38 laps on a normal caution or a normal fuel stop.
Todd Bodine, or rather Kyle Petty, also on pit road as Jeff Bodine makes his stop.
Mike Wallace, also. Yeah, I think he's one of the guys that stopped in the earlier one, too.
There's last week's winner, Kyle Petty. No trouble there on the right side.
Held the brake.
Everything works. You see everybody rolling tires. The guys there at the exact moment. They're on the way again. Man. Takes you half a day to get 2 tires put on at a service station. It takes about 18 seconds to have a pit stop here.
So here are your leaders after pit stops. Bobby Hamilton runs in second. Your leader is Bobby Labonte in the Joe Gibbs Interstate Battery Chevy that finished second last week at Dover and won at Charlotte. Packed house here at Pocono. We'll be right back.
The Clean Machine from Coleman PowerMate does such a great job cleaning cars and decks and grills, you may find yourself testing its power on all sorts of things. The Clean Machine from Coleman PowerMate.
Has the life drained out of your living room? Then why not have a Butterfinger Blast? One bite of that crispity, crunchity, peanut buttery taste explosion will shatter your senses.
Well, that's it for bingo.
Try one and you'll insist. Nobody better lay a finger on my Butterfinger from Nestle.
There's a fine line of motor oil separating your car's engine parts that's as little as 1/1000th of an inch. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect expensive parts. Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
There's only one thing I like better than a steak. A spicy steak.
I happen to like things spicy. I'm a spicy personality. A nice, juicy, thick steak with spicy steak. Wow. Like crazy spicy, like bang, smacks you in the head spicy.
I'm talking wake you up.
I'm talking shake you up. It's gonna like jumpstart your taste buds.
You know what I'm talking about.
A1 Gold. It's how steak is done spicy.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by A1 Steak Sauce. It's how steak is done.
Here's Sterling Marlin going off into turn number 1 in the Morgan McClure Kodak Chevrolet powered by Runt Pittman. If you have questions about the running of this race, give us a call at TNN Motorsports. Your call is free, 1-800-451-7331, and all during the race. They'll take your questions, fax them to us, and we'll try to answer them. Here's second, third, and fourth. Bobby Hamilton, Jeff Gordon, and Rusty Wallace. One question called in is uniquely at this racetrack. Gary from North Carolina wants to know, there are signs leading up to the corners with 3 and then 2 and then 1. Why?
Oh, you want us to answer that?
Well, he would like an answer, yes. We don't like to just read the questions, you know.
I think basically it's telling you how many feet it is into the corner, and I don't think the 1 means 100, but it just gives you some sort of reference point. A lot of the road courses have that, and a lot of the Trans Am drivers and stuff, they basically go off a lot of that. But
here you'll see it. There's 3, 2, and there's the 1 marker going off into the corner.
Basically, when you're driving into turn 1, you'll run into about that 1. I remember doing that. You kind of run into there because it's like a huge straightaway.
Yeah, this place is so big and so wide.
Mike, that 1 was always my direct line back to God. If I went past there, I said, if you'll help me through this corner, I'll never do that again.
Let's find out what happened on that round of pit stops, Glenn.
Well, as I said earlier, most of the guys were reporting their cars loose. Rusty Wallace was just a little loose, made an air pressure adjustment. Dale Earnhardt was loose. They did the Panhard bar and air pressure adjustments on 43, 24, and 18. Bobby Labonte pitted while we were away on the last break. Remember, he had pitted in the Dale Jarrett crash, so he had about a 5-lap cushion on the rest of the field there. But every one of them, to a man, has reported being loose, except Michael Waltrip. He said his car was a little tight. So just like Michael always is, had to be a little different.
Okay. Big battle here as they work around the equipment supply company, number 78 of Pancho Carter. Bobby Hamilton with Jeff Gordon right behind and now underneath him and past him. Yes.
Gordon has definitely got a really good motor. And I tell you, to speak about the motors, this racetrack is probably a motor guy's nightmare. I mean, it's unbelievable because your car is turning RPMs at a range that is so long. You know, you're basically running the straightaway they're running on now, that short chute, they'll turn 82, 8300 in that straightaway. This whole front straightaway, you know, they'll come off this corner about 7,000 RPMs and turn around 8,800 at the end of that straightaway. And this straightaway is so long, and it kills the valve springs and timing chains. And every time I ever run here, I always broke something. Whether I was running the 4 car that's leading now, we always broke certain items. And then when I got into the Robert Yates car, we broke a lot of items too here. And normally those things don't break in neither one of those guys' motor shops.
The front straightaway here at Pocono is long and wide enough that it would comfortably land a 737 jet airliner.
Yeah, and so that shows how long that straightaway is. I think we can land on this, even the back straightaway.
Likely. Long Pond straightaway is 3,000 feet.
3,000 feet. I could land my plane here. Well, not my plane. I couldn't land it myself, but I'd like to because it'd be a lot closer to the racetrack.
You can see Hut Strickland there in the 26 car. He just made a move on Hamilton. I think Bobby Hamilton's car may be just a little bit off getting out of the corners right now, and he just moved over and let Hut go because he knows it's early in the race, and he's letting him go.
You're riding with Mark Martin as he and Ted Musgrave try to deal with Kenny Schrader.
Did you see Mark? If everybody, they have to watch when the Mark's car, what Mark did was shift about the middle of the front straightaway, and then he downshifted getting into turn 3 or turn 1.
Clear behind him is Musgrave.
You can see Musgrave go wide into that corner, and Mark went right by him. You see he pulled him about 10 car lengths. That's what going wide there does. He got a little loose getting in that corner and really messed him up.
That's all it takes here.
I'd really like to find out if Mark's doing the double shift job, and want to know if he's shifting down the back straightaway. Maybe we can get a shot of that when our weather gets a little better.
Yeah, right now our helicopter that relays the in-car camera signals can't get high enough in the air to relay that signal from all the way around the track. So once we're able to do that, we're going to check on that for you. Now, here's Mark Martin side by side with Schrader.
We could hear Ken Schrader saying something about the right front.
Down in turn 1.
Clear.
That's Mark Martin's
I'll be
spotter.
just about by Cowboy Pit on lap 64.
And then what?
Going back to the inside. Just a little bit. To the inside.
He waved goodbye. Mark had a hand out the window to Schrader.
Ernie, I do hear what you're saying. Kenny is complaining about something on the right front of that car, though, because he just made a comment again about the right front.
We were hearing both spotters. We were hearing Mark Martin's and Kenny Schrader's. And Mark Martin's spotter, Steve Mill, had come on the radio and told Mark's spotter to tell him that we're going to pit in so-and-so amount of time, and he has to relay that. Now, Mark Martin gets back underneath Ken Schrader, and he's going to drag race him down this
Mark, we're going to pit on lap 64. It's 20 laps from now.
So these two cars are linked up, nose to tail, and going to try to work together and pit together and draft together.
Just a second ago, you saw Musgrave's car drop way back there. Now he's caught back up. That's how strong he is. The car is just a little bit off getting out of the corner. You see him drop back a couple of car lengths there. When they adjust this car, he'll be a factor in this race later.
Now, these cars are 8 seconds behind the leader. Sterling Marlin is out front, and Jeff Gordon has knocked it down from 3.6 to 1.2 seconds. So Gordon is flying, tracking down Sterling.
Boy, when he gets in this rhythm, he's tough to beat, and this kid is really hooked up right now. You see the car come through the corner. It's not slipping or anything. It's just getting forward bite, and he is catching Sterling quite fast.
Jimmy Spencer has taken the Smokin' Joe's, number 23, back to the garage area. 43 laps complete of 200. As you watch Ken Schrader, Mark Martin battle, this is for 6th place.
See, that's Mark Martin just shifted again, and now he's going to downshift. There he did it, downshifted it into turn 1. Now, I had a lot of trouble when I tried to downshift getting into turn 1, and here's the 12 car and the 21 car side by side. Somebody's going to have to give getting into 1.
This is back at 11th place. Morgan Shepherd leading Derek Cope and Ricky Rudd. Mane and Tail Shampoo, the folks that sponsored Derek Cope, had a big open house at their corporate headquarters in Allentown, Pennsylvania Thursday. 1,200 people showed up to meet Bobby Allison and driver Derek Cope.
Half this grandstand's wearing straight arrow shirts. I noticed that. They wear pink shirts, and half of the grandstand here is that color.
Well, Martin has moved back in front of Schrader. This is back at 6th place.
Ernie, it looks like maybe Schrader, when he's in front of Mark, has a problem staying down on the bottom part of the racetrack. Now he's dropped back in there just to draft along with him.
Yeah, I think that's what the problem is maybe Kenny's, when he's in the lead, he's pushing a little bit. Now, when he gets down behind Mark, that helps his car. Now the 24 car has caught the 4 car, and I don't think it's going to be much longer. He's going to be in the lead.
Boy, Jeff Gordon flying around this racetrack. He's running down a half a straightaway, Mike.
Well, we may have a lead change when we come back here to Pocono International. Jeff Gordon makes the move down to the inside of Sterling Marlin, going off into the corner, and he's going to take the lead. So Gordon puts the DuPont Chevrolet out front at the 11th lead change so far today. Marlin is second, Strickland third, Wallace, Hamilton, Martin, and Schrader.
Most trackers can follow the trail only as long as the weather holds out. Unless it's a tracker spurred on with genuine AC spark plugs. AC plugs fire faster than lightning for performance so smooth, even the thunderclaps. And that'll keep your engine on the trail to a longer life.
Call 1-800-AC-DELCO. It's like buying time.
So better track down some AC spark plugs.
It's not about winning the most races. I tried that 2 years in a row. You just got to surround yourself with the best people, the best car, and Goodyear Eagles, the best tires in the world. Then you just got to go out and finish every single race.
Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
Goodyear Eagles, and 31 top 5 finishes. Yeah, that ought to do it.
Live NASCAR action on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer.
Oh, yeah? Watch this.
Miller Genuine Draft presents the Win with a Driver sweepstakes.
Check it out.
You could win a trip for 2 to one of these Winston Cup races covered live by TNN Motorsports.
Be part of the action.
Meet Rusty Wallace. Tour the pits with the Penske Miller Genuine Draft race team. And if Rusty wins the race, you win $5,000. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to this address. And remember, there's 7 races, so you've got 7 chances to win. Get your entry in by June 23rd and tune in to race day July 2nd to find out if you're going to the Slick 5300. If you don't win this time, your entry is still eligible for the next drawing.
See you at the track.
Brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, Split Fire Spark Plugs, and Purolator.
49 laps complete. Jeff Gordon is out front.
Mike, the little tomahawks on the grandstand here are beginning to sway. You know, they call this group the Rainbow Warriors, and Jeff Gordon gets in the lead. They start doing that tomahawk up here. I noticed down on the front straightaway here, there's about 20 of them going up and down right now.
That's easy for you to say, huh, buddy?
Yeah.
The boy wonder. He was tabbed earlier this season, and Gordon has led 12 of the 13 races so far this year. Only race he did not lead was at the road course at Sears Point.
And he runs second or third at that race. So I tell you, they've been a really dominant force in Winston Cup racing this year.
But on the big tracks, so has this car. Sterling Marlin.
It's a great race car, but he's fighting a loose condition right now. They're going to make some adjustments probably on the next stop to make his car tighter. We're getting reports that a lot of the race cars are running sideways up out of the corner, so they'll adjust these cars and make them good.
Ken Schrader now battles Ted Musgrave. This is for 7th. Mark Martin has gone on by. And here's Randy LaJoie, John Andretti just ahead of Mark Martin, who's now pretty much alone on the racetrack in 6th place.
That's a lot of racetrack up there, but that's not usable stuff he was in just then.
It's not usable. Plus, here goes Teddy Musgrave, probably going to get beside Kenny Schrader. We have to give a call to Teddy Musgrave. You know, he ran really good last week. He ended up third, and I tell you, that team has really come alive.
I kidded with he and Howard Comstock in the garage area yesterday. I said, you can't sneak up on him anymore. I said, you're a factor.
Mike, you see Terry Labonte moving into the frame there as we were showing that. They said when he qualified, he didn't pick up any. You know, a lot of times you block off these cars for qualifying to make them more aerodynamic, and you really hurt them. But you see, he's back in the fray here. He's right up front. Started way back, so don't count him out.
They're going to lap past the Kmart Little Caesars number 37, the Krampus Haas car for John Andretti. And we talked with Andretti this week. I think all of us had a chance to get a word with him. He said on our telecast at Dover, talked about somebody running into him. Got a chance to look at the video, and his dad told him pretty well right off that nobody touched him in that wreck at Dover. And what he was saying was, well, that's sure what it felt like. It felt just like somebody turned him around, as we saw and you saw at home. There wasn't any contact, but he was expressing that was what it felt like. He's a good young race driver, and he's got a good future in this sport.
Mike, the more he does the Winston Cup racing, the less he'll apologize, because I'm going to tell you something. Everybody out there has made a mistake before.
Well, 51 laps are complete here. Jeff Gordon is opening up his lead over Sterling Marlin. Our live coverage on TNN continues after this.
It's a major breakthrough in auto protectant technology. Formula 2001 Super Protectant. It provides a more brilliant, longer-lasting shine than Armor All on vinyl and leather. And look, in the Arizona desert, Formula 2001 brought back the shine to UV-faded vinyl, rubber, even leather. Get the new standard in automotive protectant technology. Formula 2001, with 50% more active shining ingredients than Armor All. Get Formula 2001 products today.
In Normal, Illinois, Gene Goebel is popular with folks who need their car fixed. He does good work, and he doesn't charge an arm and a leg. Because when he needs auto parts, Gene buys a lot of them at AutoZone. You see, the prices are low every day at AutoZone. So a lot of good mechanics like Gene just pass the savings on to their customers. Plus, they can still get the best quality parts. Sure, they know how to do the work right, but they also know how to save money doing it at AutoZone.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Saw the work going on Dale Jarrett's car. They still hope to get him back in the race as he came in here 13th in the Winston Cup points. Jeff Gordon out in front, no surprise. He has a 4-second lead right now on Sterling Marlin.
Ernie, you've learned to sit up here and observe what's going on. Look what's happening here with Hut Strickland.
I tell you, Hut Strickland is really running good. And, you know, now he's past the 4 car. I think he's into 2nd place. And You know, Hut's on a mission, and he's really doing real good.
There's Rusty Wallace and Bobby Hamilton. And that's 4th and 5th place.
So right now we have a Chevrolet leading, a Ford in second, and 3rd is a Pontiac, 4th is a Ford. I mean, I tell you that, well, we actually have Sterling Marlin. He's in the Chevrolet, and he's in 3rd.
But you have 3 makes in the top 4 positions. That's pretty good. Last week we had 3 makes finish in the top 3 positions.
I think that NASCAR, our hats off to NASCAR, because they governed the field a little bit. Not much, but they made the playing field real equal, and I don't think anybody can complain about it right now.
I don't think they can argue about it much, I'll tell you that, because it looks like, you know, the cars are so equal now. Look at Rusty come through that corner. Oh, he almost lost that baby.
You can see his hands jerking through the steering wheel.
Now, that doesn't feel in the race car
as
bad as it looks right there,
yes,
does it?
It does. Let me tell you, if you can see it with the camera, it's twice that bad in the race car.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Especially that corner. You are going so fast into that corner. I mean, you're going 185 miles an hour getting into that corner. And, you know, we got another look at Rusty's bobble and watch his hands. See how loose he is?
What a catch.
That's 2 handfuls.
Yeah, I mean, that was a lot looser now once we got to see it in slow motion. And I tell you, that was a heck of a save. But that corner right there is one of the toughest in Winston Cup racing.
The tunnel turn. It is a tough one. 55 laps complete. Jeff Gordon leads Hut Strickland, Sterling Marlin, Bobby Hamilton, and Rusty Wallace, the top 5. We'll be right back.
Conceived by nature. Protein-packed, amino-rich hair care products from the makers of Mane and Tail. For hair that's shinier, silkier, fuller looking.
Conceived by nature from Straight Arrow, proud sponsors of NASCAR number 12, driven by Derek Cope.
Father's Day just wouldn't be the same without Craftsman. Like a 20-piece screwdriver set, 10-piece wrench set, 4-piece plier set, or 22-piece socket set. Your choice, only $19.99. Craftsman, only at Sears and Sears Hardware stores.
The all-new NASCAR Super Truck Series. Brought to you exclusively by Craftsman Tools. The only tools tough enough for super trucks.
He sees what they see. He knows what they know. Some say he's even got a tiny set of gills. Fishing with Orlando Wilson, today on TNN Outdoors.
What an education with your store club membership. Early pregnancy. Lamaze. Baby care basics. Breastfeeding today. Infant safety and CPR. Sibling series. Family-centered cesarean birth. And Lamaze update. Experience the joy and caring support of a store club membership. Store club education, L.W. Blake Hospital.
Only a select few have what it takes. Introducing Popeye's new popcorn chicken. Zesty, bite-sized pieces of choice-cut chicken with either a tasty mild or tantalizing wild seasoning, and both bursting with that original Popeye's taste you love. So pop in today for those one-of-a-kind, can't-find-anywhere-else tastes. New popcorn chicken, only at Popeye's.
Bradenton at Sarasota.
Welcome back to Pocono. 58 laps are complete here in the Winston Cup event. Opryland, official destination of NASCAR. For more information, call Monday through Friday, 615-889-6611. Lots to see and do there. Rusty Wallace made a pit stop while we were away. It had only been 25 laps since he'd been on pit road. Randy Pemberton, what'd they do?
Well, you saw him get crossed up out there on the racetrack. Evidently, he just didn't like the feel of it. Might have scared himself a little bit. Couldn't get back in the groove. Came in. He said he thought he had one going down. We've looked at the tires in here. All the guys are shaking their heads. They're taking tire temperatures. no problem with the tires. So Rusty is just pitted a little early. He'll be okay if they don't catch a caution right now, but no tire down on the 2 car. Just had to change 4.
Actually, Randy, he might want to catch a caution right now because he's toward the tail end of the lead lap. He did not lose a lap. So he's still on the lead lap, but well, as you said, well out of the pit stop sequence now. He's in 24th position. Ted Musgrave and Terry Labonte here.
Yeah, I'd say Rusty's going to be a factor before the end of this race.
You see right there the Kellogg's car, Terry Labonte moving on the inside of Musgrave, moving in behind Mark Martin. A while ago, Mark Martin was right up front. He dropped off the pace just a little bit. I think that Terry Labonte may have picked it up just a little bit.
Labonte takes over 6th place behind Mark Martin and ahead of Ted Musgrave. Boy, Musgrave, what a string of top 5 finishes he has had. He is 5th in points, just 1 point behind Mark Martin, and 77 points out of 3rd.
Watch that motor in the 5 car. You know, that's a Hendricks motor, and I'm telling you, those people have got a lot of power right now.
Randy Dorton, who heads Hendrick Engines, up on the roof spotting today. And look at how he closed right down on Mark Martin.
And that was in the corner, too, so he's got some good people behind the wall over there also.
There's no doubt. Watch him. He's going to come right out. And,
coming to the inside. Big clear behind the 5.
That was Mark Spotter right there.
Oh, boy, did he. You're right. They got an engine in that car. I'm going to tell you right now. He moved right by.
Next time down the front straightaway, tell him to wave out the window if he wants us to pull the rubber out of the right front.
Ken Schrader coming in.
He's pitting early, too.
They weren't supposed to pit to lap 64 was their strategy.
I'm sure Randy will have us something on there. Glenn's going to be there right now.
And Ken Schrader brings the Budweiser Chevrolet in. Again, I said they were fighting in awfully loose conditions. I'm right beside his pit in Mark Martin's pit. He will come in, I think, in the next lap or so. And you see him making an adjustment on the right rear of the car there. 2, 3 rounds. So that's okay. That was the jack screw adjustment there. So they're really trying to tighten Schrader's car up. A little bit of a slow pit stop, not the best they've done. 22.4 seconds. That's about 2-3 seconds longer than they'd like to see. He's down and away. We're going to stay right here. We'll get back when Mark Martin comes in.
Dave Marcus was very slow coming down the pit lane, well below the 65-mile-an-hour speed limit, but he goes back out. Todd Bodine is on pit road. Here's Sterling Marlin in the pits. Randy.
Well, last time Sterling radioed to Tony Glover, he said, boy, we could really use a caution. See if this sounds right, Ernie. He wanted to stick a rubber in the right front. Everybody else complaining about being loose. Sterling was complaining about being tight. The last pit stop, they made an adjustment with air pressure. They're already over on the left side for a 4-tire stop. Second can of fuel goes in. Glover on the radio tells him to go. 20 flat, pretty good stop again for the 4 crew.
I tell you, if they were wanting a rubber in the right front, it would have to be, I would think the car would be loose. And now, there again, I'm not a crew chief.
All right, Professor Baker, a spring rubber is a spacer that goes between the spring and the A-frame. What's it do?
Well, it stiffens the spring, and if you're pushing, you don't want to stiffen the spring. You want to get better bite, so you're going to make it a lot easier to push down. So I think they probably want to take one out, but under the green, they don't have time to reach in there and do all that work. So they're looking for a caution to make those major adjustments.
There's Bobby Hamilton underneath Hutch Strickland. That'll change 2nd place. Get the Pontiac back into 2nd and drop the Ford to 3rd.
I am impressed with Hamilton's crew. I tell you what, I take back what I said a while ago. The crew's not letting him down. This great stops. He comes back out in 2nd place. That's great.
Ted Musgrave, Hammond Channel Ford. Howard Comstock's crew completing pit work, sending Ted back out.
And, you know, we thought that Rusty pitting that much earlier, that really wasn't that bad a deal. You know,
no.
Rusty's probably going to end up close to the lead when all the pit stops get done.
Ernie, off our 800 number, Delafay calls in from Slatington here in Pennsylvania. Why do the Chevys run Ford rear ends?
Because that's what Hutch and them sell. I guess, you know, Winston Cup Racing's always been that way.
We'll tell you in a second. Here's Hutch Strickland coming down onto pit road. Randy's in his pit.
I'll tell you, they're waiting for the 26 car to come on pit road. Hutt comes down pit road, hits his mark once again. You know, it's amazing what momentum can do in this sport. You know it does it in football, basketball, baseball, but this team has definitely got some momentum. They're on the right-hand side, already around to the left. Jack goes up, 1 pump again, a couple more just to make sure the car is cleared. Left side tire, 2nd can of gas, Hutt's down and away, and 17-2. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, this is Mark Martin. They've already changed the right side tires. They go to the left side. We heard Steve Mills held a spotter to ask Mark if he wanted to rubber out of the right front. He never held his hand out the window, never made that move, so they left him in. He's down and away at 22.6.
My gun blew up, guys. Sorry.
Air gun blew up.
Air gun, yes, that's what he was waving for, to get another gun in there.
And here's Jeff Gordon coming into the pits. Leader. And there's Glenn going to be in his pit.
Glenn?
We're trying to get there, guys. It's about 5 spaces between me and Jeff Gordon. I'm here. My cameraman is on the way, and Jeff Gordon has pulled up. I want to see if they make an adjustment. Again, most of them have been making the adjustment via air pressure. I want to see what the Gordon does, because I don't think they want to adjust too much as well as that car was running. Looks like a good stop so far. No, I did not see any adjustment made, so if they did one, it was done with air pressure. We got about 18 seconds flat. Great pit stop, Randy.
3-car comes down pit road. Terry Labonte already in. Left side tires down the way. Whoa, just about flips the 42 tire carrier. Kyle Petty is in down here. That held up Terry Labonte just a little bit after a great stop by the 5 crew. Around the left-hand side for Kyle's crew on the 42 car. Left side tires are in. Second can of fuel in once again. Kyle looks very calm in the car. Down and away. Earnhardt is in up pit road.
Kyle Petty completes his service and comes back out. There's Bobby Hillen's car in the frame, and Dale Earnhardt completes his service. Goes back out under green at lap 64, second round of green flag pit stops. Rick Mast finishing up, going back out, so does Dick Trickle. And Jeff Bodine comes on to pit road.
I think after all the pit stops, I think that Jeff Gordon's probably going to end up in the lead.
I think you're right. Paul Andrews, team servicing Jeff Bodine. The reason they run those Ford rear ends is the Chevrolet rear end is what the engineers call a Salisbury type rear end, and to change the gear ratio, you have to change the whole rear end, housing and all. With the Ford type rear end, you can simply unbolt the center section, the ring and pinion, and the drive shaft yoke, unbolt that, take it out, put another one in, and much more simply change the gear ratio. That's why all the teams run the Ford rear ends, and it is a NASCAR rule that they do so. 65 laps complete, and the Citgo Ford of Morgan Shepherd, whose owners, the Wood brothers, were honored with the Pocono Bill France Award of Excellence last night. Morgan has the lead.
With new spark plugs, you get improved performance for a while. But only Bosch Platinum has a pure platinum center electrode that's heat fused for an airtight seal. So Bosch Platinum reaches its self-cleaning temperature faster for full engine power over a longer performance life, which means you'll replace a lot of other things before you change your Bosch Platinums. Bosch Platinum, the ultimate spark plug.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASE certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
To learn more about the world of Valvoline, visit us on the internet.
From Darlington to Talladega, through Daytona, Rockingham, and Watkins Glen. In every major NASCAR race, Busch Beer recognizes the pole winner with the Busch Pole Award. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, everyone follows the leader. Busch Beer, proud sponsor and official beer of NASCAR.
Imagine a satellite system that received transmissions from 22,000 miles in space. Imagine if it turned digital signals into vivid pictures and CD-quality sound. What would it look like? How big would it be? Oh, about 18 inches. The RCA Digital Satellite System. Customized programming and the power of digital technology. Now in a convenient take-home size.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by RCA, changing entertainment again.
67 laps complete, and Morgan Shepherd brings his car to the attention of the Wood brothers on pit road.
Mike, he told me before the race, he said, I put a bigger sway bar than I've ever run here before. He said, I'll either really be good or really be bad. Looks like it was a pretty good guess.
It's led this race and now completes the pit stop. Here's Randy.
Hey, one other thing, this is one of the cars that started with spring rubbers all the way around on all four corners. If they continue to go to the front, I'll go down and check with them, see if they pulled any of those out, but that's amazing. All the way around the car, rubbers in the springs.
So Shepard is back out. 24 of the 42 starters are on the lead lap. Let's mention Jimmy Spencer came back into the race. 20 laps back. Jeff Gordon's lead right now is 6 seconds. Let's show it to you here. There's Todd Bodine just a lap down. Where is the second place car? Hut Strickland just ahead of Sterling Marlin as they come out of turn 3 and Rusty Wallace. Talk about driver changes, crew chief changes. Here's a shakeup. John Barr was the president of Valvoline until Tuesday. Left. Now he's president of Quaker State.
Wow. That is a change, yeah.
In the garage area, in the boardroom. I mean, best of luck. John's a big fan of racing. Best of luck to you.
Well, he left a great oil company and went to a great oil company. That's all I can tell you.
I think he was the player to be named later in the Steve Kinzer deal. Not a chance.
I don't know.
Sterling has pulled down on Hut Strickland.
We'll watch Sterling. He was dropping back just a bit before this stop here, and now he seems to be running quite well. See Hut Strickland right in front of him. Boy, what a job he's doing in this car. You know, Hut started the season out without a ride, and they give him a call when Steve Kinzer went back to sprint car racing. And let me tell you, Steve Kinzer had so much talent that he just didn't have time to adjust to this race team. So don't feel bad about Steve Kinzer. He's back winning again. I read where he won a couple of races last week, as a matter of fact.
He's done well.
I tell you, and to comment more on that, Hut Strickland is one of the guys that knows a lot about a chassis. He's one of the guys, somewhat like I am, or Rusty Wallace, and he can come in and say, I want this, this, and this. Steve Kinzer didn't have anything to fall back on. He never really drove these cars. So.
For a big car on super speedway.
Right.
But tremendous talent.
Oh, yeah. He's working that wheel pretty good. Ernie said a little while ago while we was away at break, I don't care how good the car works, you have to drive it through that tunnel turn over there because the car is very light in that area. You see Rusty's got by Sterling as we speak there, and here comes Musgrave right behind him moving up into the fray.
Off our 800 line, Ronnie from Alabama wanted to know what happened to Darrell Waltrip's car. Internal engine trouble put Waltrip behind the wall after just 2 laps. 71 laps complete. Here's the next pack. Ted Musgrave with Terry Labonte and Bobby Hamilton. Single file right now, and here goes Labonte. Nope.
I tell you, just to comment a little bit like on Darrell's problem, it's amazing that we didn't have any more problems because nobody got any practice after qualifying. I would say 100% of the cars changed motors after qualifying. Everybody usually has a qualifying motor. They changed motors. They didn't have any ways to see what was going on, and evidently had something wrong in the motor and didn't know about it.
Jeff Gordon to put John Andretti 2 laps back. There are now 27 cars posted on the lead lap. Excuse me, that'll put John 1 lap down. He unlapped himself during the round of pit stops.
You know, you watch Jeff Gordon go around the racetrack. He's going down the front straightaway here. You'll see the signs here. That's just in front of him is Bodine. It's a good race car. That was Michael Waltrip just in front of him. These guys are fighting for their life or they're going to lap down pretty quick.
And here we'll track the field for you to pick out that your favorite driver is still running and in what group of cars. As we watch Jeff Gordon, John Andretti makes his pit stop. A lot of questions on the 800 line about tires. And first of all, does Goodyear provide the tires for free?
No.
That's an emphatic no, folks.
No.
Yes.
What's a tire cost these days?
I think they're around $1,300 to $1,400.
A set. A set of 4.
Yeah, set of 4.
We don't talk tires, Mike. You never buy one tire. You buy a set.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's $1,200 right around in there per set. And for a race like this, and you find out how many you're going to need, and you mount them up, and a lot of times you'll go back and buy several more sets if you have any problems whatsoever during the race.
Now, John from Ontario wanted to know what happens to Dale Jarrett's or Darrell Waltrip's tires now that he's out of the race. Can he turn them in for credit, save them for the next race? What does he do?
I think Goodyear has actually made it where now you can actually turn those tires back in. You can return 5 or 10 sets. But, it used to be in times to come, You used to only be able to turn one set back in, but now they made it where they loosened that up. Buddy wants to talk real bad.
Yeah, boy, I'm jumping in my seat over here. Let me tell you what happened. In Darlington, for the first time, they made a decision to turn in the tires after the race. They were very lucky. They used that tire last week in Dover as a backup tire, and they had all these tires to bring in there and make them work at Dover. So they turn them in now. You don't have to eat them like when I had my race team. There was 2 companies in there, and if I mounted 20 sets of Goodyears, I'd have to mount 20 sets of Hoosiers, just in case it was that Hoosier that was working that particular day.
For more, here's Randy.
Well, just to add to that, these guys down here get 3 sets of tires until qualifying is complete. They can't go out there and run in 8 or 9 or 10 sets like they could a couple of years ago. That was to help to keep the cost down. Whether or not that has been accomplished is yet to be determined by some car owners. But in these pits, about 6 or 7 sets is what I counted prior to race time here for most of these teams.
Thanks, Randy. And what happens to used tires? Well, they make nice souvenirs. 73 laps are complete. Jeff Gordon leads Hut Strickland, Rusty Wallace, and Sterling Marlin.
This is Dale Jarrett's NASCAR. You can't get his engine, you can't get his tires, but you can get his motor oil. Texaco Havoline Formula 3. It's formulated to control volatility and fight oil vaporization. It provides complete protection, and it's the exact same Havoline you can buy right off the shelf, which, by the way, is a heck of a lot easier.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the stars.
Think there are no guarantees in life? Come to Western Auto. We carry a wide range of parts backed by serious guarantees. Lifetime warranties good for as long as you own your vehicle. We even guarantee our low prices. And right now, all brakes are on sale, including lifetime warranty Raybestos shoes and pads. The best in brakes. Hey, for parts guaranteed to last, get serious. Get Western Auto.
Western Auto, no stranger to these parts.
It was a bone dry summer's day, and I was reminded by a vision in black and gold that there's another
cold filtered Miller Genuine Draft.
So tell me,
the cold one.
Yo, boss.
You know the beers, you know the taste. With Miller Genuine Draft, the world's a very cool place.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
5 minutes. And the pitch to Babe Ruth. How does he do it?
Maybe it was the caramel, the nougat, the peanut-packed power of a Baby Ruth.
The Babe's first figure of the day.
Baby Ruth from Nestle. This baby gets you going.
Hi, I'm Ray Benjamin. The plates fall on race day. The Stock Car Boys, the Winston Cup Series, heads north to Pennsylvania. Straight liners will light it up in Ohio, and street racing in the Motor City. We'll show it all to you on the PM edition of Race Day.
All you need to know about motorsports. Race Day. Tonight, 7:30 p.m., 6:30 Central, only on TNN Motorsport.
For information on Featherlight trailers, call 1-800-800-1230. Featherlight's the official trailer of NASCAR. And a big display here by Cedar Ridge Motorhomes in Branchville, New Jersey, providing highway transportation to TNN. 1-800-988-4884. You'll find out why Cedar Ridge and Winnebago is the choice of champions. Here's the battle we left. As we went to break, Ted Musgrave leading Terry Labonte and Bobby Hamilton. This is at 5th place.
Boy, Terry's getting in that flat corner there. Super good. Now, when he gets on the throttle here, he's not losing anything, as you notice, too. That car has really got a nice motor in it.
Jimmy Horton on pit road with the Hooters Ford. Elton Sawyer raced last night at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and will also miss the Daytona Winston Cup race, but then he'll drive that car the rest of the year. And look who's back in the race after an hour and 14 minutes.
Yeah.
Dale Jarrett.
I was going to correct you on Elton Sawyer, and I said, well, wait a minute, he said it right. Shut up, Ernie.
Terry Labonte and Bobby Hamilton battle. Sue from Florida called her 800 line and wanted to know who started 7th. Well, Darrell Walter started 7th. Darrell Walter finished 42nd. Here's your Napa field standing update. We keep America running, so we'll show you how they're running at 78 laps. Preston from North Carolina wants to know how big Jeff Bodine's margin of victory was here last year. He beat Ward Burton by 1.26 seconds to win this race last year. Coming up on 80 laps, 200 miles. And the weather continues to look pretty good. We were washed out completely here yesterday. The ARCA 150 postponed to July, and no Winston Cup practice. So a lot of question marks as we started this race today. Steve Grissom makes a pit stop in the Meineke number 29. Big news on that team that Buddy Parrott has resigned as Vice President of Operations of the Gary Bechtel-owned team as of this week.
Boy, that's a lot of talent there, but, you know, sometimes you have to make a change, and I'm sure Buddy will get with the race team, and he's a real good organizer, so I'm sure somebody's looking for that out there.
Now here's Ted Musgrave. He's caught Sterling Marlin. Marlin's car, even though this is a 2.5-mile racetrack, doesn't sound like it did at Daytona when it won the 500 and created all that hoopla.
Clear.
Ted Musgrave moves on past.
It's not sounding like or running like right now, but I think it's all in the chassis. I think the car is running quite well. He's just having problems. I don't really see anything in the corner that's warranting this except coming off. You notice he washed out right there. See Bobby Hamilton coming to the outside, now to the inside.
Marlin's car was a rocket the first 20 laps.
Now that looks like he might have a little problem down the straightaway, because Bobby Hamilton pulled him some 2 car lengths right out. He wasn't even drafting by. He pulled over quite a distance away and motored by.
Jimmy Horton made another pit stop, that one unscheduled. Let's look at Jeff Bodine and Morgan Shepherd. Shepherd was the last of the leaders that were in sequence to pit. Remember, Jeff Bodine got out of the pit stop sequence by stopping on the first caution. And these 3 cars, Ken Schrader in 25, Jeff Bodine in 7, and Morgan Shepherd 21, are running in 9th, 10th, and 11th positions.
Mike, it looked like a race for the lead. There's nothing easy in racing. You've seen Kenny Schrader at the first part of the race. He was able to move away from everybody. Now he's holding on in 9th place, and they'll keep adjusting. One caution brings everybody together again. A whole new race.
These cars are 24 seconds behind the leader, Jeff Gordon. 81 laps complete here at Pocono. Gordon, the leader. Hut Strickland in 2nd. Rusty Wallace is 3rd. Sterling Marlin and Ted Musgrave battle for 4th. Bobby Hamilton 6th ahead of Terry Labonte.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASE certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
This summer, Napa's keeping America running at about 200 miles per hour with the Road to the Championship sale. You could win an incredible trip to the Napa 500 in November, as well as Napa racing jackets and more. Also pick up Napa silver oil filters from just $1.99. Hand-selected Evercraft tool sets, your choice only $9.99. But hurry, these days everything's going fast at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by Napa. We keep America running.
TNN weather radar, that is our helicopter pilot, reports rain in the area, and we are 17 laps short of halfway. If we complete half distance, the race becomes official. Rusty Wallace there with Hut Strickland right on his bumper as they come around turn 1.
Boy, they've waged this battle for the past 4 or 5 laps. You see Hut Strickland trying to get under Rusty Wallace down the Long Pond straightaway going into turn 3.
Rusty waved him past.
Yeah, wonder how long you want him to stay there, though.
We'll see. Ooh, Same song, second verse.
I think I've seen why he motioned him on by. I think Rusty may have just a little bit of problem coming through that corner there with the back end. The car's dancing around a little bit, Mike.
Jimmy Spencer returns to the garage area, completing 61 laps today.
Whoa. Go, Rusty.
Is that the toughest job out here, to drive a car that's handling like that?
Well, it's not. Let me tell you, it's not off that much. It's just one of those deals where you're coming off under full power like that. The back end jumps, and you have to back off or just spin right on around. So it's not like on dirt where you power it through the slide. You can't do that on major speedway. You have to check up and get it back under control.
So there's Rusty losing a bit of ground there to Bobby Hamilton. Ted Musgrave. Let's check in his pit. Here's Glenn.
Well, asked Robin Pemberton if he was having a problem, if the car was still a little loose, which he told me earlier. He said, not really. He said, buddy, like you just said, it's sliding around. He said, it's just skating on him a little bit. Again, not having any chance to work on the chassis today. Couldn't hit it exactly like they wanted it. But Rusty is one of the best, and I think Robin Pemberton, his crew chief, also two of the best at adjusting on the car during the race. If they ever get a caution flag to adjust it on, I think they'll find it. Randy?
Well, Sterling Marlin has fallen outside the top 10. He's come over the radio to his crew chief, Tony Glover, said, man, the front end is just sliding all over the place. And to kind of correct what I said before, talking to you, Ernie, about taking the rubber out, they're going to take one out of the right front if they get a chance. But Tony's not quite sure. They think they're going to come down pit road around lap 91. But Sterling just cannot keep the front end where he wants it on the racetrack.
Well, just then he was pretty proud of that little rubber he had in the right front, because that car got completely sideways getting off into turn one. He was very lucky to catch it.
He's real lucky he had a rubber in the right front.
Yeah.
And to kind of comment on what a spring rubber is, and I'm sure we showed it on TV before, but it actually is a piece of rubber that goes between the coils in the spring, not between the frame.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Like that. And it's a piece in the coil of the spring.
Looks like a donut.
Right. Most of the time we'll split it in half. And here's Rusty Wallace again. He's actually lost another position to the 5 car.
Well, Terry Labonte moved by just a second ago, and just behind him is Mark Martin. When you get a little bit off like that, boy, it just seems like you line up and really want to get after you. Then you see right there, he's just a little bit loose. He's not able to come off the corner like he wants to, and that hurts his straightaway speed.
And Mark stuck that bumper up under there so he could probably try to get him a little more loose.
Here's Bobby Hamilton in 43 going to work on Ted Musgrave.
Wow, on the outside. That will not work.
Clear high.
Yeah, he's going to probably get under him now. Yep,
Side. Clear behind the 43.
We have the spotter for the 43 car, or actually the 16 car.
Look at Terry Labonte move in there. Right now his chassis is set up for a long run. He really comes on near the end of the pit stop. You see him moving under Musgraves there, trying to take that spot away. And it makes it look easy when that car gets a good run up off that corner and you have a little bit of handling problem. You're having to pacify the car through the corner. They're in the throttle and gone.
Labonte squeezes in front of Ted Musgrave, and that will change 4th place. Jeff Gordon leads here. We are 13 laps from halfway, and we'll be right back.
The other day I get in my car, it won't start. No small problem, right? Well, I figure it's the battery, so I go down to the AutoZone and I tell him what I need. The guy says to me, let's check your old one first. It might not be the problem. Turns out he was right. All I needed was a new battery cable. Talk about saving money. Now you tell me, would another parts store done that? They made sure I got exactly what I needed. Now I'll remember that. Believe me, I will.
Race fans, enter the Pocono MBNA NASCAR MasterCard Fantasy Sweepstakes and win trips for 2 to the July 16th Miller Genuine Draft 500, plus the GMC Pace Truck.
The August 5th Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis.
And the 1996 Daytona 500.
Plus $5,000 in cash.
Apply for a NASCAR MasterCard by calling 1-800-937-POCONO and automatically enter the sweepstakes.
Or to enter the sweepstakes, just send your name, address, and phone number to the address on the screen.
For a complete set of rules and a free Pocono Raceway brochure, call 1-800-RACEWAY.
It ain't as easy as it looks.
Bud Light presents the Professional Bull Riders Final Round, Top Guns Championship on Championship Rodeo, Saturday on TNN.
Westminster Asbury is the ideal place to spend your retirement years. We offer warm, comfortable surroundings, delicious, nutritious food, a variety of amenities, and services to support the needs of each resident. All this and our professional staff that believes quality care begins with quality caring. For a tour, call 813-747-1881. Westminster Asbury. Like family, we care for a lifetime.
The Telepersonals Network.
Now the personals are on TV.
Every night live here on cable.
If you're single, turn it on.
On the Telepersonals Network, you'll see ads from hundreds of singles in your area. Place your own free ad.
Listen and respond to other ads.
The Telepersonals Network.
It's the single best way to meet someone special.
Tune in to TPN nightly from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Cable Channel 19.
Welcome back to Pocono. 89 laps complete, 11 laps from halfway as Randy LaJoie's MB&A Pontiac is pushed toward the garage area, and Rusty Wallace completes a 19.8-second pit stop. What'd they do, Glenn?
Well, Mike, in addition to changing tires and fueling the car, they did make an adjustment on the track bar to try to get the car from skating around. The car's acting up awfully poorly in the corners. It looks real loose, so they adjusted the track bar, 4 tires, and sent him away. Randy?
Well, Tony Glover and the guys waiting for Sterling Marlin to come down pit road. Some of these cars have changed a lot chassis-wise over the last few minutes. This place is totally covered with clouds. It has changed about 10 degrees in the last 20 minutes. They're going to work on the right front. We're going to check and see if they do take a spring rubber out one way or the other out of this car. Around the left-hand side of the Kodak Chevrolet, left side tires on already. Sterling sits calmly in the car. Left side a little slow, left rear getting down and away. They did take a rubber out of the right front. There it is on pit road. 21-1 for Sterling.
That's really good doing that and making a chassis adjustment. That's a really good stop, actually pulling that spring rubber out.
You can see Bobby Hamilton just a second ago take over the second spot over the 26 car. Hut Strickland is showing a loose condition now, I think. I noticed across the turn tunnel there, you see him going in on the outside. He's just moving over and letting the faster cars go by right now.
There's Terry Labonte moving underneath, going past Strickland, who will certainly be in. At the front of that pack is the Hooters number 27. Jimmy Horton was overcome by fumes. Jimmy Spencer, tough customer if there ever was one, has climbed into that car to try to go the distance.
Well, he won Daytona and Talladega last year in that same car. I mean, it's not the same car, but same team, yeah.
Rick Mast, number 1, the stole car of Richard Jackson, just ahead of Ward Burton's Hardee's number 31, and Ricky Craven, the Kodiak 41, and the leader working underneath them, that's number 24, Jeff Gordon. Squeeze, play, look at this! That's Jeremy Mayfield down on the inside. The RCA satellite car is Rusty Wallace and Sterling Marlin on fresh tires. Blast past he and Derek Cope. Ted Musgrave and Hut Strickland go at it behind Todd Bodine. In factory stores, T-Bird.
You see Hut now going in the corner. He's way up high on the racetrack. That's how you tighten the car up here. That makes it a little bit tighter if you move up on your line getting in the corner there. And right now, I would say he'll be in the pit pretty quick.
Now, that front straightaway here is so wide that you could park about 10 cars wide with room to get in and out. So I guess racing 6 wide shouldn't be such a big deal, but it still looks exciting.
The only time it's a big deal is when you get it the other end down here. There's only room for 2 cars to get in that corner down there, so you have to make a decision who's going to lift. And if you got 6 drivers that are brave, you're in trouble.
Race leader Jeff Gordon in traffic, trailing Ward Burton and Rick Mast, who are on the tail end of the lead lap in 19th and 20th positions.
Jeff Gordon is flying right at this moment. You can tell he's passing some great cars.
Randy Pemberton is in Hut Strickland's pit.
Hut Strickland running 6th. The guys waiting for him to come down pit road. Got to tell you this story as Hut cruises by in the front stretch. They radioed to him. They said, Hut, you keep running like you're running now. We're going to give you one of those good cars we got back at the shop. Of course, they've given him the best they could today. Running well, has a shot to win. This car has not gone to victory lane since about 1990, I believe it was. Brent Bodine in North Wilkesboro. Left side tires are on the Quaker State Ford. Down and away for Hut Strickland. 17-2. Wow, great stop.
That's the fastest stop we've seen all day.
Motivation.
Mike, they're doing their adjustments apparently in tire pressure, because I did not see a jack screw moved on that race car. It was all done through the tires, I guess.
Here is Jeff Gordon moving underneath the car, and driver who finished second here last year, Ward Burton, in the Hardee's number 31.
You know, that's good to see. Ward's off just a little bit. He moved over to the outside to let Gordon go. These guys have a lot of racing savvy, and they know that someday they'll be on the inside wanting to lead this race, and he'll move for them too.
And he moved for his younger brother Jeff, who is a lap behind him but has fresher tires in the Ray Vestas number 8. Ricky Craven makes a pit stop, comes back out. The slowest stop for Hut Strickland today was 18.6. They reeled off 2 straight stops at 17.2. Wow, pretty fast work. For second place now, behind Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin's Valvoline Ford, and the STP Pontiac of Bobby Hamilton.
That car looks good. Just behind them there, you see Terry Labonte moving up in the fray here. I tell you what, if I had to say right now the strongest car, he's not, track position-wise, he's not really good, but the 5 car right now, Terry Labonte, I think is the fastest any car out there.
And if you believe the analogy that this is a road course with all left turns, Labonte is one of the best 2 or 3 road racers in NASCAR.
Oh, wow.
Somebody checked up.
Somebody almost wrecked. And Mark Martin, he's off the pace a little bit down the back straightaway. I think that was because he got a little bit too loose.
Now he's waving. Catch coming on the outside.
I think he's got a tire going down.
Oh, we might have run out of gas, Steve.
Oh, no. This is not a racetrack you want to run out of gas in.
For the car burbled down there in turn number 1, that is the steepest banking here at Pocono.
Mike, you see him waving to everybody. He's coming in the pits. He's moving back and forth with his hand to let him know he's coming in.
Pit this time.
I say it's the steepest banking down there in turn number 1, and he may not have been picking up fuel.
4,100.
4,100 is the RPM that he must run down pit road to meet the mandatory speed limit. Musgrave is in. Hamilton is in.
In front of the 43. You're going to pit in front of the 43.
Here's Glenn.
Well, you hear the instructions they're giving Mark Martin. That's just to remind him. Every time they hand him the water glass, they also tell him how many laps he can go on fuel. They were worried that time, obviously, that they had gone too far. He is in. They're still having problems with the chassis on the car. And like I said a while ago, as long as they keep having to make the green flag stops, they can't make the number and the kind of adjustments they'd like to make. They can adjust a few things, but boy, under caution, they can really make those moves. Got the left side up and counted away in about 19.8 seconds. Pretty good stop for Martin, considering the circumstances.
There, Ricky Rudd is in as they make a chassis adjustment on the right rear of his car. Hamilton and Musgrave complete their service. They're back out. So another round of green flag stops. Greg Sachs is in. 3 laps will be halfway. Terry Labonte's on pit road. The Rick Hendrick-owned Kellogg's Cornflakes car. Here's Randy.
Crew chief Gary Dehart and the guys waiting for Terry to hit his mark. Mike Slatterly will loosen the left side lug nuts as Walter Smith jacks the Kellogg's machine on the right-hand side. Left side lug nuts already done on the left front and the left rear. Waiting for the jack to come around. Car goes up. Water bottle fires out of the car from Terry Labonte, wiping the windshield. Gas already in. Wow, that was a great stop as well. Terry down and away. 18.5. These guys are something down here today.
Great stops. You see Earnhardt coming in the pits as we speak there.
Andy Petrie's crew gets the right side of Earnhardt's Goodwrench Chevrolet in the air. 7-time national champion and the current point leader.
Mike, you see him really working on that windshield. Although the sun's not out all the way around the racetrack, it's parts of this racetrack where the sun really bothers you. So cleaning that windshield, they do as much of that as they do tires. You see, he worked on that windshield the whole stop.
19 seconds for the Richard Childress-owned Chevrolet. Mark Martin is your race leader. Terry Labonte second at the time he pitted. Jeff Bodine, Morgan Shepherd, and Brett Bodine, the top 5.
To put together the best Father's Day, start with Craftsman Tools. This Craftsman 61-piece mechanics tool set with case, or this 3-drawer rally box. Your choice, just $49.99. Craftsman, only at Sears and Sears hardware stores.
In a sport where nerves are made of steel, the tools are made by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR, NHRA, and IndyCar racing, only at Sears.
When John Andretti races, he isn't thinking about saving money on gas or even protecting his engine. That's Tim's job. But when John changes his own oil, he uses every racing secret, especially this one, T-Plus engine treatment with DuPont Teflon.
That's right, Teflon, just like on your frying pan. With T-Plus, I get instant protection against cold engine starts. Want better protection and gas mileage? It's simple. Just use T-Plus.
No matter what you drive, get protection right from the start with T-Plus.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a flash of speed. It's a measure of skill. A test of guts. That's why the true spirit of NASCAR lies not in the machine, but in the man who drives it. We're proud to be part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Got a car, but need an engine? Then come to Pep Boys, where you'll find a huge selection of over 1,200 quality engines for your car or light truck for as low as $699.99. Import or domestic, all have a 12-month unlimited mileage warranty. And you can charge it with your Pep Boys credit card and pay as little as $35 a month. So come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by Pep Boys Automotive Super Center.
So that's where all our banners end up. Jeff Gordon has just picked up the $10,000 bonus for leading the halfway lap, and so then will make his pit stop $10,000 richer. After the $300,000 he won at the Winston Select, like he needs $10,000. But Glenn Jarrett's waiting on his pit.
Well, Mike, like you said, they did wait to collect that money, and you could always use an extra 10. Don't be fooled by that. He told Ray Evernham that just before he came in if he would tighten it up a little bit. Ray told me he was not going to adjust the car. He felt like the new tires would tighten it up enough to satisfy Jeff there, but he said no way were they going to touch it right now. It's the best they've had it all day. Good work so far in the pits. The right side already done, left side up, down and away at 17.5 seconds. Great pit stop.
Jeff Bodine and Morgan Shepherd running second and third are also on pit road. Here's your Goodyear mid-race report brought to you by Goodyear, #1 in tires. 8 different leaders, 14 lead changes. Average speed, record pace, 147.6. Only 1 caution flag for 3 laps that came out at lap 4. Kenny Schrader, Jeff Gordon. Look at how the Hendrick engines have led today. They've led, 80% of the laps so far. Bobby Hamilton and Sterling Marlin make that 70% of the laps so far today. Hut Strickland, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Labonte, and Morgan Shepherd each also has a shot at the lead. Out of the race, Darrell Waltrip and Joe Nemechek and the Jimmy Spencer car. Also behind the wall, Dale Jarrett's car back out after lengthy repairs. We'll be right back to Pocono after this.
At Chevrolet, we're not just out here winning. We're testing suspensions, developing more powerful engines, and learning more about aerodynamics. Because if you want to bring more race-winning technology to the street than any other car company, sometimes you have to work weekends. That's genuine Chevrolet.
It's 31 races, and you've got to believe you're going to win them all. Not 1, not 2, but every single one. So you better make sure you've got the best crew, the best car, and the best tires. Goodyear Eagles, made by people who want to win just as badly as you do.
Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
I've won 7 NASCAR championships with Goodyear. That ought to tell you something.
NASCAR drivers say there's no track in the world that's tougher on brakes than the one in Martinsville, Virginia. So when they take the green flag here, they all have one thing in common, the same brand of brakes. Because without them, you can't come down this straightaway at 120 miles an hour and still make it through the turn.
So which brand do NASCAR drivers use to get them through 500 laps at Martinsville? Performance Friction Carbon Metallic. And we stock them at AutoZone.
Steak. Steak is love. Give me a T-bone with a fillet on the side for dessert. You gotta break out the A1, pour it all over the steak. And when the steak is done perfectly, I wanna weep. I've cried at a meal.
A1, it's how steak is done.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speedstick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
5 minutes.
It doesn't get any closer.
Last year, it was a Winston Cup war. Ernie Irvin's early lead got pushed in the dirt, but Ernie clawed back, then got loose, yielded to the man in black. In the end, Ricky Rudd's late race spin cycle laundered Earnhardt and gave Ricky his first win as an owner. It's the Winston Cup Slick 5300, July 9th, 1 p.m., noon Central on TNN Motorsports.
It's going to be a wide-open paint-swapping war.
Welcome back to Pocono. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin. Glenn Jarrett and Randy Pemberton bring you TNN's live coverage. If you're in Nashville, you need to visit Opryland USA, the official destination of NASCAR. For more information, call Monday through Friday, 615-889-6611.
You know, sometimes we kind of forget what's happening on the racetrack, but we have a pretty good race up front. I just noticed that Hut Strickland is like 4 or 5 car lengths back from the leader. And look at this bunch right here. Now, this is a fight for, what, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th?
From 3rd on back, Terry Labonte, Rusty Wallace, Sterling Marlin. Rick Mast is in there, but he's a lap down. And Mark Martin just takes a spot away from Bobby Hamilton. That's 6th place.
Bobby rolled out of the gas there just for a second. It looked like he might have a problem, but what he wanted to do was get back to the bottom of the racetrack and get back in the throttle as fast as he could and run along there with Mark down the back straightaway.
And I think that's an interesting point about this racetrack. Unlike many super speedways where you can race all the way around side by side, it seems here, again, more like a road racetrack. If somebody has the preferred line on you going into the corner, it seems to work better if that driver will just drop back and tuck in and then chase him off the corner.
Mike, coming off the corner here is the race, not getting in. You need to get in good, but I mean, the faster you can get back in the throttle and make that straightaway longer, getting back in the throttle quick, boy, that means everything on the straightaway.
Terry Labonte trying to gain a little distance there on the rest of that draft.
You can see the hoods there down that straightaway. These cars are running close to 200 miles an hour down this long front straightaway. You can see the aerodynamics of it, the hoods and all. They're just flapping in the breeze there. And it only does that when you get to these high speeds like this.
Let's check in on a situation developing with the Bobby Labonte car. Last week's 2nd place finisher is now gone 2 laps down. Glenn?
Yeah, Mike, he's got a real problem. He only has high gear, and you know how tough that is to take off here because of the little bit taller gear ratio you have to run down this long straightaway. So, oddly enough, that car, the number 18 car, had the same problem here last year. He lost high gear. So it is a Jericho transmission. Normally those things are really reliable, but only high gear for Bobby Labonte. That's why he had so much trouble taking off. It just gives you all kinds of problems on green flag stops and even on restarts under caution. You know, you have to get a running start on him. So he's got a long day ahead of him for the rest of the afternoon.
Whew, I tell you one thing, Bobby Hamilton, he had to move pretty quick just then. He moved right across in front of Sterling Marlin. That's kind of a dangerous move there at the end of that straightaway.
Pitch battle here for 3rd place on back behind Jeff Gordon and Hut Strickland. 107 laps complete. We'll be right back with you live on TNN.
Splitfire won a United States patent. It's clearly different, but is it really better? Some of the toughest judges in the nation conducted trials and published their verdicts. 5 extra horsepower by merely installing these plugs. A 4.8% gain in mileage. Quicker in the quarter mile. There's nothing like a Splitfire. You'll get more power and more mileage guaranteed. You'll get it all for your money back.
Imagine a satellite system that received transmissions from 22,000 miles in space. Imagine if it turned digital signals into vivid pictures and CD quality sound. What would it look like? How big would it be? Oh, about 18 inches. The RCA Digital Satellite System. Customized programming and the power of digital technology. Now in a convenient take-home size.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by RCA. Changing entertainment again.
Welcome back to Pocono. Jeff Gordon out in front of this field. Hut Strickland runs in second. Third place, very tight battle. Gordon has led 59 of the 108 laps so far. That's more than half of this race.
Mike Hutt was gaining on Jeff Gordon there just a second ago, but he's dropping back just a little bit. The car on the move right now is Terry Labonte in third place. He is moving right up behind the 26 car, Hutt Strickland.
The odds are against Jeff Gordon winning this race. In the June race at Pocono, 13 years, and only 3 times has the driver leading at halfway gone to victory lane.
Ernie, we talked about this a while ago. You never let that stand in the way when there's 10 grand out there, do you?
No, I think Jeff Gordon's going to do whatever he can do to win this race. That's obviously what he's doing when they started the race. So odds don't really matter right now. There may be less odds later, but it could be 4 of them have won the race.
Here's a look back to the second place car. You think the statistical odds are against Jeff Gordon. No Winston Cup driver has ever scored his first career victory at Pocono in 35 races. Nobody's ever won their first one here.
I can tell you one thing. This is a hard racetrack to get around, and you have to have experience to run well here. You see all the guys right now that are up front. They're people that know how to set their cars up.
Hutt's never won a race to Pocono. See, so the odds, like you said, are really against
That don't
him.
mean a thing. That checkered flag, that checkered flag's what makes the difference, guys.
No, that's true. And you know, now that we're talking to maybe his new car owner.
Caution is out.
Caution.
Debris on the racetrack.
Oh.
At the tunnel turn.
I can see it. I can see it.
111 laps, and we have only the second caution of the day. It comes out on lap 112.
They finally get to work on these cars and make all these quality moves on it that they need to do to make them really fast now.
Anyone who did not need a caution flag, please raise your hand. No hands? Okay.
I tell you, this crowd hasn't sat down all day. Why they even get a seat?
Yeah,
Maybe
why buy a seat? All you do is stand up on it.
Yeah, they ought to do the grandstands and not have seats here. I mean, you know, everybody's standing up, watching the race, and now we got a caution. There's going to be some pit stops, and it's getting exciting. It was exciting before, but I think that we're going to have a little more excitement. You know, we're looking at the new car owner for the 26 car.
You mean Buddy? You mean Buddy?
Let's talk about the... we have a truck that is the pace truck, and they pick you up right on this short chute right now. You see him just in front there. That's picking them up, coming toward the front straightaway.
Pace truck Elmo Langley. Driving that GMC Jimmy.
Jimmy. That is Elmo.
Going to give Jeff Gordon a pack of ice. Apparently he's running a little hot in the race car.
He normally gets that quite a bit. He usually gets some down his shirt and other parts. You know, Jeff's a really slim guy, so he doesn't have much fat to keep him warm or cold.
The drivers on the lead lap are entitled to pit under this first lap of caution. There are the first 3 on the left side of the screen.
I think we just explained why I never got any ice in a race.
We got some great stops going on right now. I mean, 3 of the best in the business right now with Jeff Gordon, the 26 car with Hutt Strickland, and Terry Labonte with the 5 car. Let's see who wins.
Terry Labonte was the first one to move.
Yeah, I tell you, who's going to be the first one out?
Jeff Gordon.
That's down the pit road there. He stopped a little further down pit road.
I mean, basically, all those guys had just about the same amount of time on the stop.
19 cars, make that 18 cars are posted on the lead lap at the moment. We're under just the second caution of the day. And we'll be right back with you live here on TNN.
This is the Texaco Haviland stock car. And this is the Texaco Haviland Indy car. And while these cars run on special fuels, we figured it was still a good way to remind you that Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines give your car unsurpassed performance. And Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco antifreeze coolant provide complete protection. But if we really wanted you to remember our name, maybe we should have sponsored something slower.
With each race, he faces a new challenge, a fresh shot at the pole, and another chance to win this season's overall prize, the Busch Series Pole Award. Only then will he earn a ride at Daytona, where he'll run with the big boys in the Busch Clash. We're proud to be with him from the first turn to the last. Busch, the official gear of NASCAR.
Today on TNN Outdoors. No matter where adventure finds him, Ron Shearer knows why they call it the Great American Outdoors. Today on TNN Outdoors.
The Swarm. Creatures wrapped in multi-hued nomex. Their habitat is known as the Pit. Intensely focused and intimidating, the Swarm is the ultimate gang. They serve the king with majestic speed. Although they look similar, they wear name tags for identification. Why? We don't know. But it's probably a territorial instinct. NASCAR on ESPN.
What's in a name? Shopping Club, home to the greatest names in electronics.
Pocono caution flag pit stops continue. Here's our Peerless innovation in racing, brought to you by Peerless Faucet. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Hi, I'm the Weston Auto Team Manager. My name is Clyde Booth. I'd like to take some time to show you how we line the rear ends up in these Winston Cup cars. At one point in time, we used to have this string resting on the sidewall, and then from the string, we'd go into the frame rail and make sure the rear end was straight in the car. That was not very accurate. Now we have a new tool that's extremely accurate that enables us to put the strings on these machine pads. We run it down the race car, go into the frame rails, and get the rear end straight. Because whichever way the rear end is heading, that's which way the race car is going to go down the racetrack.
Thanks, Clyde. We're getting set for the restart. Jeff Gordon continues to lead. Hut Strickland, Terry Labonte, and Mark Martin. See if we can get a word with the driver of the Family Channel Ford that sits in fifth in Winston Cup point standings. Ernie Irvin has the mic. See if Ted Musgrave's on the horn.
150, and then we're going to have to comment like 184.
That's Howard Comstock,
so we'll
crew chief.
See how it works out.
Teddy, this is Ernie Irvin up in the booth. You got a copy?
Hi, Guy. How you doing up there?
All right, man. We've just been talking about you. Your car is looking really good today. How's it handling?
Well, as everybody was, a little loose to start with, and we had our car fully adjustable, Ernie, and the guys did a good job in the pits, into the track bar and rubber springs and a few things like that, and it's really going to be good toward the end.
Okay, well, you're really putting us a good show on, but we're going to have to get you up front and get ahead of that 24 car, right?
Ernie, that would be awful tough, but I think we could do it as the race goes on. We're getting a little better as the race goes on.
Okay, I just wanted to tell you that no Winston Cup driver has ever won his first race here at Pocono. So maybe you could do that for us today.
But no pressure, right, Ernie?
Thanks, Ted.
Ted Musgrave, and thanks to Racing Electronics for providing the in-car communication we have with several of the drivers today. We had a call on the 800 line. Fan wanted to know if his scanner would work at home while he was watching our telecast. I'm sorry. No, but if you're going to scan the race teams, like we're doing here, you have to be here in the grandstand because those transmitters won't reach your house. Randy?
Well, just a couple updates. I went down and talked to Robin Pemberton on the 2 team. I said, did you make any changes there under caution that you would have liked to have made but couldn't catch a caution? He said, we need to change the right front spring, and we're not going to be able to do that. So that's about as good as they can get Rusty, at least for now. A lot of the guys are saying they're chasing the weather because the sun keeps popping in and popping out. As far as Sterling Marlin goes, they raised the spoiler up, put around a wedge in the left rear, pulled out the left front fender, around a wedge in for the 26 car. Glenn?
Well, I'm in Dale Earnhardt's pits, and they came in a second time. His car's been awfully loose. Now, he likes them loose, but it's too loose for him. Richard Childress said they put rubbers just about everywhere that they could, try to tighten the car up for Dale. Hopefully that they'll get the car back toward the front.
Thanks, Glenn. We're set to go back to green here. We will mention that if you are at the racetrack, you can scan our TNN broadcast in addition to the race teams. On the outside, there's Jeff Gordon. Just behind him in green is Hut Strickland, then Terry Labonte's cereal box, and then the oil can of Mark Martin and Bobby Hamilton, Ted Musgrave. Those are the cars on the lead lap you're looking at in the outside lane. They won't be there for long.
Whoa!
We're under green.
Jeff Gordon just made a move down at Derek Cope going down the front straightaway there. I don't think he intimidated him a bit, though. You see Derek Cope getting in there trying to get that lap back, and Gordon's up high.
Derek Cope is 1 lap down.
And Hut Strickland's going to take the lead.
Hut Strickland to the front. Wayman Strickland Jr. out of Calera, Alabama, puts Kenny Bernstein's Traeger Stage Ford in the wind and into the lead. Now Ricky Craven and Derek Cope are ahead of him. They're trying to get back on the lead lap. Boy, Strickland made the right move in traffic.
Now wouldn't be the time to make the offer to Kenny, would it?
I was just thinking that the price probably is going up every day. But
Something
we got a great
happened to
race.
the 24 car. He dropped off the pace quite a bit. You can see him running about 8 from that line there.
He got in line, out of line in the other deal. But I think pretty soon we're going to see Jeff Gordon go back to the front.
115 laps. And here is Strickland putting Derek Cope in the mane and tail shampoo Ford. Bobby Allison back 1 lap down again, as he has the preferred line in turn 1.
He's working on putting him back that lap, but right now, oh boy, does he have him cleared. That's awful tight coming off turn 2 there.
Got him. Mike Wallace makes a pit stop. Pit stop under green as we're back after just the second caution flag of the day at lap 116. Hut Strickland drove for Bobby Allison and finished 4th here in 1991. He's trying to become the first Winston Cup driver to ever score his first career win on this racetrack.
Intelligent driver right now. You see him going pretty good there. I tell you, Hut Strickland's got a lot to prove to people. What a race car driver. He's won a lot of races on short tracks in different places around the country. He went from unemployed to leading the race. That's pretty neat.
From the starter stand, that look
only happens in America, you know what I mean?
Todd Bodine battling Ricky Craven. That's for position for 20th spot. They're 1 lap down. Factory Stores Ford, Butch Mott getting underneath Craven. And they're right in and amongst the leaders.
Well, Jeff Gordon's in a lot of lap over traffic right now, and he has to be very patient not to make a mistake. He's got a fast car, as you can see. He can move up on him pretty quick, but he don't want to get himself caught in a wreck.
Bobby Hamilton leading Ted Musgrave and Rusty Wallace in that group, Pontiac and 2 Fords. Terry Labonte's Chevrolet and the Ford of Ricky Rudd. You're riding with Mark Martin. Ernie, that rear view mirror, they used to run the 4 or 5 panel mirror. This is a little different thing now.
It's you know the name, kind of what we're looking for. What's the kind of name?
Convex.
Convex. It's a little bit different. And what it actually do, Mark can actually see almost out the right side of his car, out the right side window. Plus, he can see almost out the left side window.
Kyle Petty's off the pace there. It looks like he may have lost an engine.
That was our last week's winner, too.
Yeah, won't be 2 in a row for Kyle.
That may bring out a caution. He'll have to really worry whether he can get back into the pits or not, because he's coasting down the back straightaway, and it's a long ways around this racetrack back to the pits.
Stay under green for the moment. There are a couple of places around the backside of the racetrack where a driver can turn into the infield out of harm's way and to keep us.
Okay.
Most of them aren't brave enough to turn in, because when you turn in, it brings you to the wolves. I mean, it's basically all the fans can be right there in the middle of what it's at. But then we're going to get a good shot of what maybe happened to Kyle. And
upper right corner of your screen, way up in the upper right.
there it is.
Ooh.
Oh, it flamed and everything. So it blew up here at the start-finish line. So I don't think he's going to make it back.
He's still coasting out on the racetrack there. He's turning in, as you said, Mike, he's turning into the infield right there.
That's where the pace truck parks. That's also the entrance to the infield road course here. Well, that's a sharp right turn where you come from high speed down to stop and turn left. Great passing.
Oh, Todd Bodine really loose in front of Strickland there, getting across the tunnel turn.
Todd Bodine's one that is running really good. He just about got a lap down earlier, but you know, he's still, I guess he's one lap down, but he's running real competitively. And we got Bobby Hillen right there, and I think he is a lap down too.
Right, they're battling for 20th spot as Hut Strickland manages to lap them past. We are 120 laps complete, 300 miles down here at Pocono. We'll be right back.
Coast to coast, from small communities to urban America. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little-known company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 13,000 locations across America. More than any of these companies you already know. Citgo, the sign of quality.
It isn't easy winning a championship. One week you're on a super speedway, the next week you're on a short track, or a road course, or something in between. You have to change, you have to adapt, and you have to have the consistency and the technology of Goodyear Eagle tires.
Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
Winning the championship takes consistency, and that takes Goodyear.
Stopping your car is important. At Pep Boys, our ASE certified technicians understand that. Now get our premium $99.99 brake service for only $59.99 after rebate. Ray Bestis lifetime brakes installed only $59.99. Come to Pep Boys now.
Babe Ruth has done it again. How does he do it?
Maybe it was the Baby Ruth, the caramel, the nougat, the peanut-packed power.
What a blast!
Baby Ruth from Nestle. This baby gets you going.
Went out to buy a car. Dad said good luck. Saw my new Ford Ranger and said, son, that's a truck. My girlfriend loves the new inside. Now all she wants to do is ride. Mom sees the airbag and takes heart. Finally, her boy's getting smart. My best friend pops the hood. Look for horsepower. That's good. Well, my boss says it takes the cake. A truck with anti-lock brakes. Oh, yeah, my Ford Ranger's really hot stuff. Now Dad asks, can I borrow the truck?
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Tad Musgrave up there battling Rusty Wallace. Wallace just ahead of him, and ooh, close, almost contact, 3 wide. Labonte's going to try it on the bottom. And found an advantage and took it.
Clear low, clear low.
Musgrave comes back down as Schrader goes past. They were trying to lap past Derek Cope. And as Musgrave rolled out of the throttle, everybody else said time to go.
He won't want to talk to you anymore, and you reminded him he's not supposed to win this thing first race here at Pocono.
I think what I did was woke him up. He's trying to go towards his lead. He's ahead of Jeff Gordon.
Bobby Hamilton there in the 43 car on the outside. Ricky Rudd's beginning to rumble a little bit.
Well, we haven't really talked about Ricky Rudd all day, and he's one of the better guys that run this racetrack.
There's Rudd in the tied Ford underneath Bobby Hamilton. This will be for a top 10 spot, and Sterling Marlin moving back up there behind Morgan Shepherd. Let's go to Kyle Petty's pit. Here's Randy.
Well, Barry Dotson's got his guys packing up all the stuff. Barry, I guess you let one go here today, but had a heck of a run last week, and you weren't bad today at all.
No, we had a good run, Randy. We elected to come in on the caution on the 4th lap, put a spring rubber in because we just got going and the car's a little bit loose, and we worked our way back up. Kind of held her on with the 24 car. It was a good day for us, you know. The motor broke. If it weren't running good, it'd be different. But our Coors Light Pontiac's running really good, and one of those days, we'll take it after last week, I guess.
Now you're in another race. We heard you say pack them up. Let's beat some of this traffic.
You got it, man. Let's get out of here.
Barry Dodson, crew chief for Kyle Petty. Jeff Gordon has been trying to lap past Todd Bodine. This time drives it in deep and gets past Bodine going over the tunnel at turn 2.
Well, you can see why Jeff Gordon runs well after about 8 or 10 laps. He has this car set up for the long run. Right at first, I don't think he is loose enough to really get off the corners here. I think the car may have a little push, and then it comes to it at 8 or 10 laps. You see him moving up behind Huck Strickland and really gaining on him now.
There's Strickland, the race leader. Here's Gordon, the second-place car. Average speed at record pace. There's Terry Labonte down to the inside, trying to haul his Rick Hendrick teammate Kenny Schrader with him. Ooh, Robert Presley.
That was 3 wide into that corner. That's not a lot of fun.
Still out there, Kenny. Still out there.
Car still alongside Ken Schrader is the call. That was Robert Presley right alongside.
Ernie, you hear the spotter now way over on the back straightaway telling that driver he's clear. I always look in that mirror myself. How about you?
Well, my thought is how can that spotter see all the way over there? The only way they could see it is if they could see it on the TV, and it's hard for a spotter to come and say clear just watching it, because we're sitting here in the booth right now looking at those cars a long ways away. And this racetrack is real hard to judge the distance.
There's the average speed, just a little bit off the record pace after that last pit stop. That record was set by Alan Kulwicki in 1992 at 144 miles an hour. It was his final Winston Cup victory. Came here at Pocono. Ernie, a lot of questions on the 800 number about when you were going to get back behind the wheel. You had a test this week?
Yeah, I tested up at Richmond in the truck, and everything went real good. And I think we're going to go test again next week in a truck again, and just keep doing some testing. And pretty soon those doctors will look at me and say, well, you're all right.
Here's our 800 number, 800-451-7331. If you have questions about today's race, we'll try to get them answered here on the telecast. And I understand Professor Baker has dusted off his helmet once again.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Parkersburg, West Virginia on June 23rd, and then the 24th I'm going down to Dixie Speedway and try a little truck racing, man.
Oh, boy. Here's Rusty Wallace. Try to get back at Terry Labonte. He's in the middle of his Chevrolet sandwich with his Miller T-Bird. Back down the front straightaway. We're at 126 laps. 74 laps to go here at Pocono International Raceway in the mountains of Pennsylvania. TNN Motorsports live coverage continues right after these messages.
Oh yeah, eat these all the time. It's
Scrambled egg muffin.
it is Spam.
It's scrambled eggs and Spam luncheon meat on an English muffin. Scrambled egg muffin.
They like them, I like them, and one can's enough for the 4 of us, so hey.
Get Spam luncheon meat or Spam light and you've got the scrambled egg muffin. The taste the whole country's waking up to.
Cool.
You've got the winning color.
I've got 295,000 miles on my car. I've always taken awful good care of it. Changed all the oil myself. Use Pennzoil.
Now with the revolutionary Pennstar molecule, Pennzoil clings to moving parts, works like liquid ball bearings.
Engine runs good. It's never been opened up. I've had to change out the upholstery, and I'll probably have to change it out again before I ever have to do any work on the motor.
Engine problems? Before you try a tune-up, try Gum Out first. The solution could be less than $5.
In Normal, Illinois, Gene Goebel is popular with folks who need their car fixed. He does good work, and he doesn't charge an arm and a leg. Because when he needs auto parts, Gene buys a lot of them at AutoZone. You see, the prices are low every day at AutoZone. So a lot of good mechanics like Gene just pass the savings on to their customers. Plus, they can still get the best quality parts. Sure, they know how to do the work right, but they also know how to save money doing it at AutoZone.
Rusty Wallace stock car. Awesome. One opened up.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway in the Teamwork 500. Jeff Gordon is back in the lead. Here's what happened while we were in break.
Jeff lining him up there. He just moves to the inside, cuts off the angle, getting in this flat corner up here and makes the pass pretty easy. He actually made it before he got to the corner. I tell you, that's moving right along down that short chute there to be able to do that.
It almost looked like Hutt may have got just a tick loose getting in there, and Gordon got through there really good.
There's Schrader and Labonte working. Brenda calling from New York. Wants to know if we'd ever have Harry Gant as a guest commentator, and does he come out to the races anymore? Harry was signing a bunch of autographs yesterday out at the souvenir trade.
Harry Gant can do anything he wants to. I've seen him do it.
She did say when Ernie returns to racing, not like we're going to spin Ernie out from here.
Oh,
not here.
Kenny Schrader's beginning to really turn up the wick on his car too. He's gotten by Terry Labonte. Seems some of the old problems he had before he got to adjust on that car, he's fixed because he's really moving well now.
Mark Martin running in third. Now there's Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd moving in on Rusty Wallace. And this is for 8th place.
Morgan's been very fast and very steady all day. He's been working his way up, you know, towards the front. And you can see the car is running quite well down the straightaway.
Morgan Shepherd came in here 11th in the point standings. And over the past 3 seasons, Morgan's hardly ever been out of the top 10. So they're 34 points back of 10th place right now. Kenny Schrader and Terry Labonte. Rick Hendrick's cars are 1st, 4th, and 5th. Schrader is 4th, Labonte is 5th, with Jeff Gordon leading. All 3 of those cars on the top 5. And here's Robert Presley slowing.
Yeah, we had a report that he was smoking about a lap ago, and you see us finally got to him. He's coasting around trying to get back to the inside of the racetrack.
And up front, Hut Strickland has caught Jeff Gordon once again.
Hut isn't giving up. He's going to keep the pressure on Jeff Gordon.
Hut's previous best finish, career-wise, was 2nd, I believe, at Michigan.
Mike
fielding nods, yes.
Mark Martin has moved into our picture frame there. That's the 3rd car you see there, the number 6 for Mark Martin.
Man,
I tell you, that's a dangerous move. When you see him moving up like that, he can make his thing take on a little odor, can he?
Yeah, he can. And I tell you, getting through turn 1, Mark, I mean, it was just like the perfect groove through turn 1, and he's obviously got his car handling now.
Mark Martin was 2nd going into the Winston Cup points last week, but that crash at Dover on the 3rd lap dropped Mark to 4th in the point standings. Right now, he's 3rd in this race, and the point leader, Earnhardt, is 15th. 3rd to last car that is still on the lead lap here. 132 laps complete. Let's go down to Hut Strickland's pit. Here's Randy.
Well, normally we would be down here talking to Richard Broom, the crew chief on this car, but Richard spots for this team on race day. John Dick is the chief wrench down here right now. John, you've radioed that you've been a little bit loose. First of all, can you correct that for Hut, get the looseness out of the car, and can you do anything with the 24?
Well, I think we can fix it. We can certainly make it better anyway. I don't know. The 24's got a pretty strong car, but I tell you, Hut's making some magic out there.
He's taking the lead. He's trying right now.
Yeah, he's driving.
And he's got it.
Got it.
Power move there with Dave Marcus right on the inside. Now look at Gordon try to loosen up that Ford.
They both have the same problem. When a car gets up under them, they get loose up off the corner. Mark Martin moves in right on the tail of Jeff Gordon.
Oh, Greg Sachs has spun and believe hit the wall before he came off into the infield here.
The caution is not out yet, but it will be shortly, I have a feeling.
Leaders do not get the caution flag. We are green for at least one more lap. 133 complete. Greg Sachs' car was off in the infield grass after spinning off the tunnel turn.
Mark Martin, while we were talking, has moved into 2nd and got his sights set on Jeff Gordon coming out of turn 2. You see the 40 car there, Greg Sachs sitting stopped. There's the yellow right now.
And Sachs went off at turn 1, rather. So they will come around to the caution flag.
Hut Strickland's crew chief was probably thinking of, man, we told him that he had the lead, and he come by in 3rd.
Sachs gets restarted. Let's show you what happened to Greg Sachs. Might have just brushed the wall there as he spun, perhaps.
Mike, he's got a flat left rear. You see it flopping under the wheel well there as he comes to stop. The left rear is flat. He probably blew a tire coming out of that corner, or cut it.
Jeff Gordon leads the run back to the caution flag. Mark Martin, Hut Strickland, Kenny Schrader, Terry Labonte, Ted Musgrave, then it's Sterling Marlin and Ricky Rudd. As the caution is out at lap 135 for the third time today. Caution actually on the 136th lap. Well, this will probably bring around pit stops.
I would have to say that all the leaders and all the lap cars will definitely pit. They can't make it to the end of the race, but it's definitely going to be one of the deals.
Let's show you how Mark Martin got past Hut Strickland.
Okay, you can see the 26 car right there. He gets a little bit loose. Jeff Gordon goes to the inside. Now he's cutting this edge off here, and I'm sure the spotter's saying, here comes Mark on the bottom side. Strickland tries to go in on the outside. That's no dice out there. You can see the car get a little bit sideways. Mark sticks it in the corner under him.
As we get ready for pit stops, we've had a number of questions about lug nuts and sockets. Sometimes they'd have a lug nut hang in the socket. Have they pretty well got that figured out and cured so that when you take those lugs off or when you tighten them up with those high-speed air guns, that a lug nut can't get caught?
Well, no, I don't think everybody's got it cured totally, but I think that they've made some different changes and different deals with the sockets. And right now we're going to have a heck of a pit stops coming up. And we'll probably have 2 or 3 that we can actually watch, and I think there'll be some good stops.
Here are the cars that on the lead lap that can pit on this lap. Jeff Gordon, Mark Martin, Strickland, Schrader, Terry Labonte, Musgrave, Marlin, Rudd, Shepard, Jeff Bodine, Rusty Wallace, Hamilton, Brett Bodine, Elliott, Michael Waltrip, Nemechek, and Earnhardt. All those cars are on the lead lap.
They're making an adjustment on that 26 car, tightening it up just a little bit, Ernie.
Yeah, it sure looks like it. They definitely Jeff Gordon looks like he's going to beat everybody out of the pits right now. Mark Martin looks like he's probably going to be second.
And Hut Strickland right with him. So the lead lap cars have made their stops. Everybody else will be in next time around. We're under caution for the third time today. The Nashville Network's live coverage of Winston Cup racing for Pocono continues after this.
In these mountains, you need a tough truck.
Dave Ashley, search and rescue volunteer.
Trails, I tend to make my own. It's one torture test after another. But the people I'm looking for depend on someone to find them. Well, I depend on something too. My Ford F-Series. How do you learn a job like this? Let's just say I drive something tougher than a golf cart on the weekends.
Ford F-Series. The best-selling trucks are built Ford tough.
The RCA Home Theater with SRS sound is now 50% brighter with a sharper, clearer picture. Better picture, better sound. Better get out of the way.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by RCA. Changing entertainment. Again.
64 laps, 192 miles left to race here in the UAW GM Teamwork 500 at Pocono. Here's today's AutoZone Tech Fact, brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, best parts in auto parts. Here's Larry McReynolds.
If you check the history of the races here run at Pocono, it seems like fuel mileage has always played an issue in the outcome of the event. Teams and engine builders really work hard on getting the most fuel mileage that they can out of their racing engines. That way, hopefully, they can run longer than the other competitors. Another issue that teams have really worked hard on is the fuel pickup. Even though NASCAR mandates the size of the fuel cell, that it has to hold 22 gallons, teams want to make sure they pick up every ounce of that 22 gallons. A lot of little pieces has been made to make sure they do that. For example, this little pickup goes right here in the right rear back corner, and that way, hopefully, it will pick up every ounce of the fuel and will let a team run further than its competitors.
Thanks, Larry. There's Jimmy Cox with what we call the lollipop. That stop-and-go sign at the end of pit road lets the drivers know whether or not they can get out ahead of the pace car or not. We'll be right back.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
Leave it to Peerless Faucet to create a shower so smart, it can not only sense when a toilet has been flushed, it can also adjust the water temperature accordingly. Scald Guard technology by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
Steak. Steak is love.
I crave steak.
Not just any steak. Porterhouse steak.
Thick, juicy sirloin.
And a nice filet for dessert. Steak and eggs hold the eggs.
It makes me crazy just thinking about it. But wait.
It's not done. You gotta break out the A1.
Pour it all over.
When the steak is done perfectly, I want to weep. I've cried at a meal. Now I will call that true love.
A1. It's how steak is done.
The country stars meet the cowboys.
Well, I've had about 2 hours of riding a horse today.
For a good cause. Ben Johnson's Pro Celebrity Rodeo, Tuesday on TNN.
The Swarm. Creatures wrapped in multi-hued nomex. Their habitat is known as the Pit. Intensely focused and intimidating, the Swarm is the ultimate gang. They serve the king with majestic speed. Although they look similar, they wear name tags for identification. Why? We don't know. But it's probably a territorial instinct. NASCAR on ESPN.
You know, if you're like me, you like doing business with people with hands-on experience. People you can take at their word. That's the way it is at Bill Curry's Van Factory in Tampa. They are van specialists. In fact, Bill Curry Van Factory is the #1 Ford conversion dealer in Florida with over 70 vans to choose from. These people know vans, inside and out, and they'll take the time to show you everything you need to know.
Bill Curry Van Factory, Down Mabry, just north of Tampa Stadium.
It's Ford Buddy Baker Driving Tip is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford
Last
lately?
week we learned how to fix a car that's pushing in the corner. This week, let's fix a loose car.
A loose condition in a race car. Something that has to be fixed. The drivers get very uncomfortable with this situation. To fix this in the pits, my brother Randy's going to tell you what they do for a quick fix.
Thanks, buddy. One of the fastest and most effective ways that you can cure this condition is to take a ratchet, you make an adjustment on this corner of the car. It adds weight to this spring by screwing down on it. Another quick fix is to come around and bump the spoiler up. What this does, it increases the down pressure on the back of the car, and this will also take away your loose condition.
We're ready to go back to green. 137 laps complete. Jeff Gordon is the race leader. Mark Martin's right there with him. Hut Strickland and Terry Labonte. For the restart. Green flag is in the air. Boy, Mark Martin did not get a good restart.
Horrible start. I don't know whether he missed a gear or what. What do you think, Ernie?
I think that really I've been watching this, and during the first parts, Mark Martin didn't have a very good start, too. I think it's the gear ratio that he's got in his transmission. It doesn't have a very good low enough second gear.
Well, he's lost a couple of spots in the process. There is Gordon, the race leader, then Derek Cope and Jeff Burton, each a lap down, as is Mike Wallace, the Howie Myers Ford. And it's Hut Strickland and Terry Labonte in a big gap. And Martin loses a little more ground getting into the tunnel turn.
Outside.
Mark Martin's down to the inside.
Outside again.
Schrader blasts on by.
High.
Martin now hanging with Kenny Schrader. Jeff Gordon leads him across. He's got a big advantage with 3 lapped cars, including Dick Trickle, separating him from second place Hut Strickland now. There they are. Strickland Right behind him is Terry Labonte, the third-place car, and then Ted Musgrave.
You can see those cars when they come up out of that corner. They really bounce quite a bit. You know, this isn't one of the smoothest racetracks we go to, and you can really see that down the front straightaway too. It's been a long time since it's been paved, and you know the winters aren't real good here, so the racetracks get rougher. And here we got Hut Strickland gonna get underneath Dick Trickle and gonna go back under the 8 car too.
Mike, you could see then how soft these cars are sprung. When Strickland turned his car to the inside there, it actually broke the rear wheels loose momentarily because of the light springs. It kind of lifted all the weight off the left rear, or the pulling wheel.
I mean, we basically have springs in the cars that is
3 of them coming on the outside,
just about like you'd run at Wilkesboro. Now we're seeing that Mark Martin is having some trouble. It wasn't just the gearbox, and maybe it's something else. Maybe he's got a cylinder down. They haven't really said nothing on the radio.
Never came back up to full speed after that restart, but they continue to work traffic. Glenn Jarrett's in his pit.
I don't know what's the matter, Steve. I don't either.
All right, he's talking to Mark right now. I asked Steve, what seems to be the problem? Do you know?
Well, the radio broke early on, so it's hard to say. You all know about as much as we do. It looks like we're getting beat up the straightaway like it dropped a cylinder or something. Clutch is slipping, maybe won't go in high gear. You know, we change gears here at Pocono. It's just anybody's guess right now.
Well, like he says, he still does not have communication with Mark. Earlier, he told me that it just took him a few laps to get going, but now they got a much more serious problem. That's a real shame because they have gotten the car in real good shape. He was about as quick as anybody.
That's true, Glenn. Bill Elliott just moved past in the McDonald Batman Forever car.
You know, you never like to stand up here and speculate what the problem is, but right now he's running just as well as Bill Elliott is down the straightaway.
Here's what happened to Mark. The first indication of that car not running all that well after the restart.
Look at Mark. Ooh.
Whoa.
He just about got tagged there. Morgan Shepherd was coming full head of steam on the outside, Sterling Marlin there. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong there. You can see that he was one of the fastest cars before the stop, and now he really don't have the straightaway speed he had.
Mark well down off the pace as Dale Earnhardt moves to the inside of Craven. Haven't seen much of Earnhardt today. Ricky Rudd battles with Bobby Hamilton. They were side by side 3 wide the last time they came past the stripe here. They're fighting for 12th place right now. There's Musgrave and Kenny Schrader. Oof. And Ward Burton battling Jeremy Mayfield in the RCA car. And now Bodine pulls up on Ricky Rudd as Hamilton goes up front after Joe Nemechek, Michael Waltrip, and Jeremy Mayfield.
Well, Michael Waltrip there, he's still in the same lap as the leaders, and you can see he has a lot of straightaway speed in that car. He goes down into turn 2 here.
One of the things, Michael Waltrip isn't shifting today. He's running 4th gear the whole time. That's one of the things I found out in the garage area.
As is Sterling Marlin, as we mentioned earlier. Kenny Schrader, Budweiser 25, started here on the pole. Ted Musgrave, Family Channel 16, and the Miller Genuine Draft number 2 of Rusty Wallace right there in the tail. Back behind leader Jeff Gordon. That is 4th, 5th, and 6th place. Hut Strickland, 2nd place car in Quaker State Green, and Terry Labonte in 3rd right behind him. Couple of laps cars, and then there's the battle for 4th.
Schrader's really hanging it out right now. He's past Musgraves now, and if there's a Warrior Award today, he has to have it because he has battled back from, you know, dropping way back in the field 2 or 3 times, and he's back in contention again.
How about this? The 2 drivers who led the points 1 week ago are today the last cars on the lead lap, Earnhardt and Martin. Things change.
Do that. I see Schrader trying to make a move on Trickle on the bottom side. I don't think that's going to work right now. Musgrave moves in. And when they get this close, I don't care how good your car is, it makes the back a little bit loose getting off the corner.
Jeff Gordon's lead now more than 2 seconds over Hut Strickland and Labonte, and then a gap back to that 4th place battle.
Schrader's car really has a motor in it, I tell you. It's, every time we keep saying that. And it really shows on the straightaway.
Right here's where it shows. When he gets back on the straightaway there, you can see him pulling car, 1 car length, 2 car lengths. By the end of the back straightaway there, he'll have a good distance between he and the next car.
Now Ted Musgrave's got to go to work on the Bud Moore quality care number 15 of Dick Trickle if he's going to keep tabs on Schrader there. This group of cars is a bit back of the leader with some lap cars in between. Now Musgrave's got to make that move or he's going to lose touch with Schrader.
Oh, he has to do that. Here comes Rusty Wallace, too.
That's Ted Musgrave's spotter you're listening to.
Whatever Rusty's problem was a while ago, he seems to have fixed also. He's back up there where it counts, and he's moving in on Musgrave trying to get that spot.
It's been a Chevrolet day so far. Second place race. Terry Labonte was trying to put it under Hut Strickland there, but not that time.
Strickland really got down in that corner good, and Terry Labonte's not a guy that's going to force the issue. He'll eat you up, but he'll do it his way.
Call the 800 line from Toronto. What's the closest Winston Cup race to go see one? Oh, 3 wide.
Something's got to give. Somewhere.
And it's going to be Bobby Hillen.
Clear, clear.
Yeah, clear twice, they told Michael Waltrip. Closest race, well, here comes Ward Burton right back at him.
Side of you.
Not a lead lap car.
And Bobby Hillen gets on the inside, too.
Clear low.
No, he didn't.
That'll go. Closest race to Toronto. Well, next week they go to Michigan, Brooklyn, Michigan. That'd be a good one to see if you live in Toronto, or Watkins Glen, New York in August. Well, we've completed 147 laps, 50 laps to go, 125 miles, about 3 times around. We're told alternator trouble on Mark Martin's car, not generating sufficient electricity to run everything. We'll double check on that. Here's the way the top 10 looks. We'll be right back.
Cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the cold one. You know the beer, you know the taste. With Miller Genuine Draft, the world's a very cool place.
Ford Contour brings you a world of innovative safety ideas, like the steel safety cell. This solid steel framework, combined with standard dual airbags, assures passengers that when it comes to safety, we've got you surrounded. Ideas like all-speed traction control, available with Contour's anti-lock brakes to help tires grip better at every speed for improved control. How does that grab you? A world of new ideas in a world car for the 21st century. The totally new Ford Contour, well equipped for just $14,670.
Conceived by nature. Protein-packed, amino-rich hair care products from the makers of Mane and Tail. For hair that's shinier, silkier, fuller looking.
Conceived by nature from Straight Arrow, proud sponsors of NASCAR number 12, driven by Derek Cope.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by the more than 1,000 AutoZone stores across America. AutoZone, the best parts in auto parts.
Welcome back to Pocono. I'm Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin. And bright sunshine all the way around Pocono Raceway right now. Here's how Terry Labonte got past Hut Strickland for second place while we were away. Down the front straightaway. And into turn 1. So now 2 of the Hendrick Chevys run 1-2. Jeff Gordon and Terry Labonte. The other Hendrick car, Kenny Schrader, is 4th. There's a look at Terry Labonte's day so far. Started way back in 27th position. There's Kenny Schrader in 4th place, running with Ted Musgrave and Rusty Wallace. Lavona from California wants to know if Rusty's first name is really Rusty. Well, it's Russell. His father is also Russell. His dad goes by Russ, and he goes by Rusty.
Rusty.
Now, Mark Martin, we reported, thought they might have an alternator problem. Glenn, is that the case?
Well, evidently so, Mike, because they have brought a fresh battery down here. Now, obviously, if the alternator's not working, it's not charging the battery, and the car begins to lose power. So, at the first opportunity, they are going to put a new battery in the car to see if that won't help. But that won't solve the problem, but at least it is a quick fix. I doubt that they'll be able to do anything about the alternator. They'll just try to keep a fresh battery in there.
He is 15 seconds behind the leaders. You see Martin shifting 4th to 3rd. There's Kenny Schrader and Ted Musgrave. Musgrave's really had to work lap traffic and all to stay right with Schrader to battle for 4th place.
The impressive part of Musgrave's the way he's running, you see he dropped about 20 car lengths back, just a lap back. Now he's run right back up on the back of Schrader. He's got a lot going for him, I think.
For 12th place, Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt battling for 12th place. Earnhardt, the Winston Cup point leader, has spent much of the day hanging around the tail end of the lead lap. And Rusty Wallace almost got past Ted Musgrave. Now the 21's going to try it.
Morgan Shepherd moving to the inside there, trying to take the spot away. You see Rusty put his hand out there to let him go.
Give and take.
Give and take, you bet. That's a nice sign when you're going down in that corner if you know he knows you're going to take that spot too.
Observant viewer Rick from California sees little green stickers up on the windshield. He said last week it was orange. How come?
I think that's the stickers is when you go through tech on Friday.
Right.
And they may change them. And
Top center of the windshield there. That little sticker means you have passed inspection for this weekend. The inspector signs it off.
Not for the weekend.
Not for the day. Excuse me. You're right.
Sir.
You're right.
Because everybody goes through tech inspection right before the race. They go right before tech inspection, right before qualifying, too. So they also go through a tech inspection when they first get here.
So before practice, before qualifying, and before the race, 3 separate times.
And after, they usually tear down the winner.
They usually tear down, somewhat of a tear down for the top 5 cars. They'll check the body heights and templates and make sure that you don't go through templates and then change it some other way.
That means you're positively correct, maybe.
Yes. There's that sticker. Top center of the windshield on Rusty Wallace's car. Ricky Rudd has dropped back to the tail end of the lead lap, and they are also reporting potential alternator problems on Ricky Rudd's car. I don't know if it's the magnetic fields here in the Poconos or the weather or just what happened, but it's something. 47 laps to go. Jeff Gordon is on a mission. And we'll be right back with TNN's live coverage after this.
There's an unexplainable phenomenon haunting Pizza Hut. Is it an otherworldly spirit compelling people to eat their pizza the wrong way? No, it's new stuffed crust pizza with a ring of cheese and the edge of a new, thinner crust.
Incoming!
And with the large, just $9.99, every living person will be eating it the wrong way, crust first.
I'm eating like a fleshy too!
You'll love the stuff we made at Pizza Hut!
Right now, with any purchase, get a hand puppet from the movie cast for only $1.49 and only at Pizza Hut. For cars that can benefit from higher octane, Texaco Clean System 3, Power Plus, and Power Premium gasolines are formulated to clean your engine's intake valves, fuel injectors, and combustion chambers while you're driving. For smooth starts and sure acceleration. Just give us 5 tanks. And you may feel like you've left your old car behind.
Oh, add more life to your car. Take it to the stars.
Race fans, enter the Pocono MBNA NASCAR MasterCard Fantasy Sweepstakes and win trips for 2 to the July 16th Miller Genuine Draft 500, plus the GMC Pace Truck.
The August 5th Brickyard 400 at Indianapolis.
And the 1996 Daytona 500.
Plus $5,000 in cash.
Apply for a NASCAR MasterCard by calling 1-800-937-POCONO and automatically enter the sweepstakes.
Or to enter the sweepstakes, just send your name, address, and phone number to the address on the screen.
For a complete set of rules and a free Pocono Raceway brochure, call 1-800-RACEWAY. Stopping your car is important. At Pep Boys, our ASE certified technicians understand that. Now get our premium $99.99 brake service for only $59.99 after rebate. Raybestos lifetime brakes installed only $59.99. Come to Pep Boys now.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
Buckle up. The flat turns of the Milwaukee Mile mean tire wear. But last year it was just good, clean racing. Until Ricky Craven tried to drive circles around the rest. With 15 laps left, race leader Elton Sawyer got hammered by the Stanley Tools Lumina. And Mike Wallace held on to take the win. It's the Busch Grand National Sears Auto Center 250. July 2nd, 2 p.m., 1 Central on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway. The Teamwork 500 shows Ted Musgrave right now battling Hut Strickland. And this will be for fourth place. There's Rusty Wallace and Morgan Shepherd. Taking sixth away from Rusty.
Right now the tires are getting slick, and you see the better chassis moving up towards the front.
And the number 4 car, Sterling Marlin, coming back into play.
Well, just a little while ago, Hut Strickland was leading, and now he's fighting a battle just to stay where he's at. He's dropping back through the field, and this is because the animal's gone away just a little bit.
Here are the cars on a lead lap as we have 43 laps to go. Jeff Gordon, the leader. Terry Labonte is second. Kenny Schrader third. All 3 of those race cars owned by Rick Hendrick and powered by Hendrick engines. Fourth is Hut Strickland. Fifth is Ted Musgrave. Sixth now, as we have a look down the field, is going to be Morgan Shepherd, and seventh will be Rusty Wallace. Also on the lead lap, there's Sterling Marlin, Michael Waltrip, Bobby Hamilton, along with Dale Earnhardt and Bill Elliott. That battle continues.
Oh, Morgan.
And there it is. Bill Elliott going right back after Earnhardt. Think it's the black paint?
I don't know. These guys have raced some great races together. They're just having a good time right now, but they're not happy where they're at in the field, I can guarantee you.
And Brett Bodine's fighting right with them for position. Let's go down to Earnhardt's pit.
Well, Mike, these guys have had an awfully frustrating day. And Andy, all of our viewers are calling in. They want to know what's wrong with the number 3 car.
Yeah, I think I was one of them that called. We'd like to know, too. We've been working on it awful hard today. We did set up a little bit. We've been working on it, trying to get it good. I think if we can get a little better track conditions, it'd be better off.
Has it gotten any better with the adjustments you made?
Yeah, we can make it worse, but it's to make it even better. We made it, it's been loose to start with. We tried to tighten it up, and that just made it worse. So we went back to our old setup.
Awfully tough just to make a guess like you had to do here.
Well, it didn't look like it's too tough for a lot of these guys. It's tough for us.
Okay, like you said, he was one of those guys that placed one of those calls.
I'll tell you, they're taking it in stride.
Mike, he said he could make it worse, but he couldn't make it any better. Boy, that's a bad situation.
I like it when he said he was one of the guys that called.
Yeah. Operators are standing. Bye.
Morgan Shepherd trying to take the 5th spot away from Strickland, coming off the corner, side by side down the front straightaway.
A lot of room between them, and everybody's going to line up with Strickland. No, Rusty's going to go with Morgan Shepherd, who will take the position.
Hut knows he's off. You see he's staying on the outside there. He's not pulling down on Sterling. Sterling makes the pass. He's trying to figure out how he's going to make it to the next pit stop before he adjusts on this car.
Sterling Marlin just in front of Strickland. Had a number of comments on the 800 line about why Sterling Marlin didn't get penalized for that collision that sent Dale Jarrett into the wall. NASCAR officials looked at the same replay as you did, judged it was a racing accident, did not choose to assess any penalty. That is their call. 41 laps to go. Jeff Gordon leading his Hendrick teammates, Terry Labonte and Ken Schrader, with Ted Musgrave in 4th, Hut Strickland there, and Morgan Shepherd at 5th.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
The
RCA Home Theater. With SRS sound is now 50% brighter. With a sharper, clearer picture. Better picture, better sound. Better get out of the way.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN is brought to you by RCA. Changing entertainment. Again.
Welcome back to TNN's live coverage from the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Battle for third. Ted Musgrave has caught Kenny Schrader.
Ted Musgrave, in the past couple of weeks, has shown me a lot of maturity, and he works on this car during the race. Look how he gets in the corner here. He's gaining on Schrader really fast getting in the corner. He's hooked up. He'll make the pass on him before too long.
His team manager, Howard Comstock, one of the nicest guys in the garage area, and a bunch of hard workers on that Jack Roush team. They have caught Schrader. Musgrave is in fourth place, the highest placed Ford in the race right now. About to be third, perhaps.
Top 5 in points. He's doing quite well this year.
And he may move ahead of his teammate Mark Martin into fourth in the point standings as they run right now. Schrader doesn't want to give up that third spot down in turn 1, does he?
Oh, it's gone. It's just a matter of time here. When he gets back in the throttle right here, goodbye.
Professor Baker from the Buck Baker Driving School telling you that.
Well, it don't take long to figure it. Uh-oh. He's off the pace there in the 16 car. He pulled way over to the left-hand side.
He just went in to try to break the draft from Kenny.
Oh, man. Just for a moment there. I seen him go hard left.
This whole state of Wisconsin, buddy, just had heart failure.
Well, so did I.
He's okay.
In-car cameras. I was watching that, and I seen him pull way over. I forgot I used to do that, a whole bunch of that, Ernie.
I remember you doing that.
Uh-huh.
Well,
he's pulling away from Schrader, too.
I don't know if I remember it, but...
Oh, yeah. I know.
They had TV in Modesto, didn't they?
Yeah.
They did use air in the tires. Yes, sir. I'll answer that before you ask me.
Oh, you knew I was going to say you soaked your tires, huh?
Sure enough.
Yeah, I think you soaked them in water, right?
A lot of people would ask, why do you move around on the racetrack trying to break the draft? Well, he feels that he's much quicker down the straightaway without Schrader's help, so he's trying to get rid of him right now. Maybe he has a pusher problem when he's right up behind him, or a loose problem, so he wants to shake him off there so he can use everything he has in that car to try to catch up.
That's a good point, buddy.
Schrader started today's race on the pole. He has led a couple of times here, but right now runs in fourth behind Jeff Gordon, Terry Labonte, and now Ted Musgrave. .38 laps to go. We'll come back and show you the last round of pit stops here in just a bit. So let's take this pause from the Poconos. We'll be right back with you live on TNN.
In the middle of my workday, I don't do power lunches. I do power lifts. And when you work out this hard, better use a deodorant that works hard too and never quits. That's why I use Speed Stick. It gives me 110% protection that lasts all day. And fortunately, all night. Because while I may not have time for lunches, I always manage to find some time for dinner.
Speed Stick, like you, it never quits.
5 minutes.
Think there are no guarantees in life? Come to Western Auto. We carry a wide range of parts backed by serious guarantees. Lifetime warranties good for as long as you own your vehicle. We even guarantee our low prices. And right now, all brakes are on sale, including lifetime warranty Raybestos shoes and pads. The best in brakes. Hey, for parts guaranteed to last, get serious. Get Western Auto.
Western Auto, no stranger to these parts.
If you got lots of leisure time and nothing else to do, and wanna be happy as we, just grab your hat and get your boots on. Pretty soon you'll be long gone to the cowboy.
Championship Rodeo on TNN tonight.
With a fiery horse and a hearty hi-ho king, it's the Lone Ranger.
Hey, what is this, a holdup? Of course not. There's never a holdup at Used Car King.
You know, even people with no credit get a straight shooting deal. Used Car King is the place to come, and I'm here to back up those deals. Hi-ho, King, away! Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of The Lone Ranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
The Telepersonals Network.
Now the personals are on TV.
Every night live here on cable.
If you're single, turn it on.
On the Telepersonals Network, you'll see ads from hundreds of singles in your area. Place your own free ad.
Listen and respond to other ads.
The Telepersonals Network.
It's the single best way to meet someone special.
Tune in to TPN nightly from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. on Cable Channel 19.
Welcome back to the Poconos here, where the leader, Jeff Gordon, has just made what is hoped to be his last green flag pit stop, and it was not a good one. They had trouble on the left rear of the car. It was, we've got it timed at 20.8. I think that might be a little fast. The crew's a little upset with themselves right now. Had trouble on the left rear, but he is down and away again. As I said, should be his last stop if we go green the rest of the way.
Thanks, Glenn. Terry Labonte beat him off pit road. Does not take the lead. Ted Musgrave does. The Wisconsin driver, former ASA star. Behind the wheel of Jack Roush's Thunderbird, the Family Channel car, leads Kenny Schrader. There's the advantage. It's about 3 to 4 car lengths. A lot of questions on the 800 line as you look at this in-car cam review. We come back about, sometimes you'll see wires hanging down that don't connect to anything. Those are the tethers like that for the roof flaps on the cars. And so when the car turns around back to the wind, as you watch the battle side by side between Gordon and Labonte, those allow the roof flaps to come up, but only so far, and then drop back down once again. It looks like they're not connected to anything, but they're doing their job properly. Michael Waltrip and Brett Bodine make a pit stop, as does Rick Mast. Last round, the green flag stops underway. And here comes Ted Musgrave in. Leader is in for his final stop of the day, as is Kenny Schrader right with him. Let's go to Randy.
Well, Howard Comstock waits for Ted Musgrave. Boom, he hits it. Right side tires already going on. Ted with maybe his best run. He had one going last week at Dover. We said that was his best run, but I think this might be a great run here at Pocono. Around to the left side. 16 car goes up on the left side. Tires going on, no problems, no chassis adjustment. He's down and away. Excellent stop for Musgrave's team. 19.6.
Nice stop for Ted Musgrave's crew. Now remember, last week, many people thought Musgrave would have won the race, but they had a bad stop on their final pit stop, and he got back out third. So once again, Morgan Shepherd assumes command of this race in the Citgo Ford.
Well, Morgan get a caution right now. He'd be in the catbird seat, but that's not going to happen. It don't look like, as we speak, it looks like he's coming towards pit road right now.
Morgan Shepherd is in, and Randy Pemberton's there.
Well, the Leonard and Glenn Wood team wait for Morgan. Boom, he comes in. No, not a problem here. He doesn't even get a slide to the stop. He comes in nice and smooth. Go to work on the windshield, get it nice and clean for Morgan. Second can of gas already in. Lug nuts are left, already loose on the left side. Had to wait a little while for the jack. Can't get the jack onto the left side of the car. Finally get it hit. Tires going on. Not the cleanest pit stop, but I'm not sure how bad they are on time. Down and away. Morgan does not stall the car. 21.6, not quite what they wanted.
Hut Strickland is pitted well further down pit road and gets out before Shepherd. There you see the difference 2 or 3 seconds can make on pit road.
When you make a pit stop like that, you say 21 seconds opposed to 18 seconds. If you put that on a racetrack, you're talking 200 yards.
And that can be a whopping distance. You're also talking thousands of dollars if that's how it ends up at the end of the day. Here are your leaders. Terry Labonte behind Jeff Gordon.
Jeff's car is a little quicker on fresh tires. I think Terry Labonte's car may be just as good after about 10 or 15 laps, but Terry likes his car very secure in the corner. He don't like it to slide around where Jeff will hang on a little bit.
You know, we keep commenting on the Hendricks engines. Also a comment that those cars are built by Rick Hendricks' shop. So not just the bodies and that sort of stuff, but also the frames and everything. You know, most people get their cars from Mike Laughlin and some other places, but you know, those guys build their own chassis and everything.
Big complex they've got there near the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And different satellite locations around the area.
You know, Mike, looking at this 24 car go around the racetrack here of Jeff Gordon, it looks almost flat. Years back, they used to put rake-in cars, thinking that give them great stability on the back, but now they found out if they can get this weight distributed from the front to the rear and really tack that car down, it's much better than having that rake-in. Yeah, easy enough for me to say. Ernie kind of stuck his tongue out. Yeah, I do that a lot.
Did I do that?
Yes, he did, folks.
I was watching the monitor as Kenny Schrader and Rusty Wallace battle. Lake Speed has just made a pit stop. Another Chevy versus Ford matchup here. And this would be for fourth place. This racetrack was designed to emulate 3 different speedways for IndyCar racing. Turn 1 resembles Michigan with a steep banking. Turn 2, Indianapolis, with only an 8th degree banking, and Turn 3, Milwaukee, nearly flat. Each straightaway is a different length. Each turn has a different radius and a different banking.
This means that you will have one corner where you're better than maybe the next corner. You set your car up for the flat part of the racetrack, you're in good shape. You don't have to worry about 1 and 2. You kind of bounce through there anyhow.
Here are the pit stop times as Jeff Burton slows the Ray Bestas Ford to a crawl.
And Hut Strickland again had the best pit stops.
Been that way all day.
Yeah.
Slow car going into the tunnel turn on the bottom. Slow going into the tunnel.
Schrader and Wallace continue their battle for fourth place.
I wonder if Jeff knows about to turn off over there. If he stays on the racetrack, that'll bring a yellow out, sure.
First 500-mile race held here was an IndyCar race. 1971, Mark Donahue won it. They roll past Jeff Burton's car. See if he'll make the turn in onto the road course there.
It doesn't look like he's going to make it.
No, what they call devil's elbow.
Whatever was wrong with Rusty Wallace in the early part of the race, he is flying right now. They've made some adjustments. Apparently, he's going by Kenny Schrader down the front straightaway, side by side, coming past the start-finishing line there.
It doesn't look like the 8 car turned in through the tunnel deal.
No, he's still out on the racetrack, Ernie, and he is almost to a stop.
Yeah, it looks like we may have another caution.
The entrance of 3, Kenny, just past Elmo.
That was one of Kenny's spotters.
Saying that there's Jeff Burton just past where the pace truck pulls out.
They're looking right now. It won't be long before there it is.
Debris in turn 1.
Fourth caution of the day.
NASCAR is not going to be happy with Jeff Burton.
Nope.
Because that's one of the things they say in the drivers' meeting. You know, if you can't make it all the way around, or if you're wounded, you pull into that deal so you don't cause a caution.
So evidently, Burton thought he could make it all the way around. 27 laps to go.
But it makes us have a better race. Now we can.
Well,
we can have what?
Now I know there are folks sitting home wearing their bow ties, saying, "Oh, a Chevrolet is leading, so the Ford parked out on the racetrack." But folks, you're so busy worrying about your own race car, I can't imagine you'd have time to figure all that out.
I hadn't figured out how that could happen. You know, but yeah, I mean, you know, people can think that, but
we don't expect that to happen.
We don't think that.
Anybody that knows Jeff Burton knows he wouldn't do that to begin with. He's a tremendous competitor, and he thought he could make it back to pit road, I'm sure.
So we're under caution for the 4th time today. Leaders Jeff Gordon will stop, as will Terry Labonte. Ted Musgrave is 3rd. Rusty Wallace is 4th. It's Chevy, Ford, as we go to caution. Now, 2 tires or 4 tires. You have fuel to go the distance, so you're not waiting for the fuel to be put in on this stop. What do you do?
Mike, it's the same reason you make the big bucks up here. Those guys down there know what they're going to do. I'm not going to second guess those guys. They make the big bucks to make these choices here.
Well, it'll be choice time here in just a second. There is Jeff Gordon's pit, and Ray Evernham has been known as a bit of a gambler. Let's see what they'll do. There are the two Chevys in the top upper left of the screen and the Fords right below.
I would say we may see some two-tire stops, but I don't think it's going to be from the guys that are right up front.
Wouldn't surprise me. Labonte comes to a halt. Musgrave is already getting his right side tires. They go to work on Jeff Gordon's car. The question is, what are they doing on the left side? Labonte will take 4. Musgrave got 2.
Yeah, there you go.
And he'll be first out.
Jeff Gordon is just now beginning to take on left side tires. They had a problem again, it looks like.
Ted Musgrave wins the dash down pit road as Jack Roush gambles on 2 tires. 175 laps down, 25 to go here in the Pocono zone. We'll be right back with TNN's live coverage after this.
It doesn't matter if you're the best driver. It doesn't matter if you've got the best car, or the best crew, or even the shiniest wheels on the track. If you don't have Goodyear Eagle tires, well, you're just not going to win the NASCAR championship.
Goodyear, #1 in racing, #1 in tires.
Without Goodyear, you're not going to win one of these. Believe me, I know.
The other day I get in my car, won't start. No small problem, right? Well, I figure it's the battery, so I go down to the AutoZone and I tell them what I need. The guy says to me, let's check your old one first. It might not be the problem. Turns out he was right. All I needed was a new battery cable. Talk about saving money. Now you tell me, would another parts store done that? They made sure I got exactly what I needed. Now I'll remember that. Believe me, I will.
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And just last year, Mobil 1 had the most first, second, and third place wins on the Indy circuit. We've been helping engines last for a long time. Mobil, changing oil for over 125 years.
We made history on the American road. Now we're looking to the future. Introducing the new Ford Explorer. The top-selling compact sport utility that has standard dual airbags, as well as the roomiest interior, plus the one with the highest quality of any American compact sport utility. The new Ford Explorer. Far and away, the best the world has to offer.
Welcome back to Pocono as they line back up after caution. Jeff Burton's car has been pushed back to pit road after coming to a halt between turns 2 and 3. 24 laps to go. You can cruise on the Big Red Boat on the NASCAR Family Cruise December 4th through 7th, benefiting the Winston Cup Racing Wives Auxiliary. Some Winston Cup drivers and their families will participate. For more information, watch future TNN racing events. Look at the drivers who are still looking for that first win and closing in on it. Each one of these 6 have had top 5 finishes this year. Still have found victory lane elusive. Todd Bodine, Steve Grissom, Bobby Hamilton, Ted Musgrave, Hut Strickland, and Michael Waltrip.
You know, we've seen Bill Elliott out there running along a while ago. He's showing in 3rd place right now. That's really up there.
We might check. I wonder if he only got 2 tires on that last stop.
Took on 2 tires.
Let's go down to Glenn.
Well, Ray Evernham, I know that you thought about it, putting 2 on, but you decided to go with 4. Hopefully your last pit stop of the day. Everything okay with the car? Is he ready to go to the end?
Was a little tight on that set. I hope it's going to be. I hope it's going to be okay. You know, we just have to say our prayers. Terry looks pretty strong. Got a lot of traffic to come through, but you know, we've had a good day, and I just hope we can finish on a good note.
Well, Musgrave took on only 2. Can you get back by him?
I hope so. You know, if Jeff's patient, I hope we can get back by. You know, like I said, we're just going to have to wait and see. And I want to say hi to Pop Hendrick. He's back home still recuperating, and at least all of our cars are running good. But I hope it's ours that brings home the trophy.
Well, good luck on this final run. Let's go down to the 16 pit with Randy.
Well, team manager Howard Comstock stands on the wall. Howard, you got the lead, but you only have 2 fresh tires on there. A bunch of them got 4. I guess you think that's the right thing to do.
Well, we were the last ones to stop on that round of green flags, so our tires had the fewest laps on them. We only had like 4 or 5 hard laps on them. The left side tires aren't wearing out. The wear's been real good, so track position's real important. We got to take a chance.
No doubt about it. Ted Musgrave going after his first. Today might be the day.
And he might break the record that Pocono International Raceway has had in denying every NASCAR driver his first win here. Here are the cars on the lead lap as we get set for the restart. There's Ted Musgrave, your leader. Right behind him, you see number 24, Jeff Gordon. In third, in Batman Black, is Bill Elliott, number 94. Then in fourth, there's the Kellogg's car of Terry Labonte. In fifth, number 2, Rusty Wallace. In sixth, 25, Kenny Schrader. Seventh, that green number 26, that is Hut Strickland. In eighth, number 30, there's Michael Waltrip. Back in ninth, number 4, Sterling Marlin. In 10th, number 21, Morgan Shepherd. 11th, number 43, Bobby Hamilton. 12th is number 3, the point leader, Dale Earnhardt. 13th, the defending champion of this race, number 7, Jeff Bodine. 14th is the number 11 of his younger brother, Brett Bodine. And 15th, number 87, Joe Nemechek. Finally, 16th, number 6, Mark Martin's on the tail end of the lead lap.
Hanging in there, though. He didn't give up. He's still trying to make it, you know, and stay in the lead lap. This is point time.
23 to go.
Well, that answered that. 23 to go.
Out of the race, Darrell Waltrip after just 2 laps. Jimmy Spencer, though he is now in relief of Jimmy Horton, who was overcome by fumes. Randy LaJoie's in the garage area, so is Kyle Petty. And the 33, Robert Presley.
Ricky Rudd starting on the inside here. He'd like to get a lap back, I'm sure, but I don't think so. Ward Burton gets a real jump on the outside there.
And Burton was on the tail end of the lead lap. That's why he started up there in front of Ted Musgrave. Down to turn 1, and Rudd gets back on the tail end of the lead lap. Up front, it's Ford, Chevy, Musgrave, and Gordon. These things sort out here.
Oh, clear low, clear low.
Riding with Mark Martin up against Joe Nemechek there. 15th place is that battle. For the lead, Gordon looks inside. Not there.
Ted said, no, I'm going to go ahead. He drove her right down in the corner. Gordon knows he has a good race car. He backed out just a little bit. Look at this. So 3 wide down through the short chute.
Terry Labonte drags Rusty Wallace down the inside. Underneath Dick Trickle's lap car, Rick Mast fighting along there is battling Trickle for 20th place, 1 lap down. 21 laps to go.
Like a big snake coming down through there. Everybody's drafting. This racetrack down the front straightaway. You run it just like Daytona, Talladega. You draft down through there. There's a tremendous amount of advantage to having a good running mate right now.
Gordon looks inside again. He's got the room on Musgrave this time.
You'll be clear behind him. You'll be clear behind him.
He'll take that spot going in the corner here. Musgrave knows he's good. Now he wants the 24 car to slide out just a little bit. He'll try to get back under him on the inside now.
Ernie's there, but he just can't seem to get back under Gordon.
Yeah, I tell you, it's real tough. You know, Gordon's motor definitely plays effect, and it has a lot of power, and the car handling really good, too.
Right behind them, Bobby Hillin 1 lap down in 19th place.
With him, this is a good deal. 20 laps to go.
So before, Musgrave had to hang on to Ken Schrader. Now he's got to try to hang on to Jeff Gordon.
Just behind him, you see Bill Elliott moving to the inside of Bobby Hillin, trying to get that position there. He's got a lot of people right there trying to take that spot away from him. Terry Labonte's right on his backside there, and the 2 car of Rusty Wallace.
Behind them, Kenny Schrader, all battling for position on the lead lap here. 20 laps to go. There's the lead. Gordon stretches it out to about 3 car lengths.
Wow, that car looks awfully strong. Ted Musgrave's car, I think, is good after about 10 laps. But on the green, when they drop the green, it takes him a little while to get going, and right now Gordon's motoring.
Ted Musgrave has a 2nd, 2/3, a 4th, and 2 6th place finishes this season. 5th in the points. Still looking for win number 1.
And a smile from his banker. I tell you what, that's pretty good.
Terry Labonte drops it down to the inside on lap car Bobby Hillin. And he also overtakes Bill Elliott going into turn 1.
Bill got caught on the outside there. You see him trying to get back down low. Rusty's under him. Very close. Rusty moves to the inside as they come off turn 2.
Burgers and beer battle there between Elliott and Wallace. Oh, well. 18 laps to go this time by. Jeff Gordon stretches it out just a bit. Oh, one blows up right in front of him, Ward Burton. Everybody's going to get by. But did the field pack up behind Ward Burton? What a tense moment. No caution as yet. We'll see if Burton's car fires and moves. It does not. Yellow flag. What a tense moment.
Wow, that could have been a huge wreck right there.
And what a break for Ricky Rudd. He gets back on the lead lap. The rest of the pack comes to the line. And we're under caution.
Mike, that's the reason you run your heart out when you're lap down. Things like that happen. He's back in there again.
I'm not sure if Burton blew up or if that was just tire smoke from the spin, buddy.
Well, he's already in trouble there. You see the rear tires lighting up like he had power there. He's spinning the rear wheels, so it might have just been a spin out.
Yeah, I saw the smoke first. It appears it was tire smoke. It's Ward Burton lost it coming off the tunnel turn, but he is running. The car comes around and is running, so last year's second place finisher continues on, and we'll be right back to Pocono after this.
Now at Pep Boys, get any 4 of our 35,000-mile all-season steel-belted tires at an incredible low $109. That's right, any 75 or 80 series, any 4, just $109 at Pep Boys now.
Now at Pep Boys, get an unbelievable deal on Gabriel Pro Rider heavy-duty gas shocks, just $9.99 each after mail-in rebate. No matter what you drive, get our lifetime warranted heavy-duty gas shocks, only $9.99 each. Come to Pep Boys now.
A car engine has as little as 1/1000th of an inch of motor oil protecting its parts. But friction and heat can make motor oil become volatile and vaporize, weakening its ability to protect vital parts. Texaco Havoline Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility, fight vaporization, and provide complete engine protection, no matter what you drive.
Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
Live NASCAR action on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer.
Oh, yeah? What's this?
Miller Genuine Draft presents the Win with a Driver sweepstakes.
Check it out.
You could win a trip for 2 to one of these Winston Cup races covered live by TNN Motorsports.
Be part of the action.
Meet Rusty Wallace. Tour the pits with the Penske Miller Genuine Draft race team. And if Rusty wins the race, you win $5,000. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to this address. And remember, there's 7 races, so you've got 7 chances to win. Get your entry in by June 23rd and tune into race day July 2nd to find out if you're going to the Slick 5300. If you don't win this time, your entry is still eligible for the next drawing.
See you at the track.
Brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, Split Fire Spark Plugs, and Purolator.
Welcome back to Pocono. I'm Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin. Getting ready for what could be the final restart of the day. There will be 16 laps to race when they come around. Here are the lead lap cars as they line up. Jeff Gordon is the leader as the pace truck makes its left turn to go back into the infield. Ted Musgrave in second. Terry Labonte in third. Bill Elliott's fourth. Kenny Schrader's fifth. Sixth is Rusty Wallace. Seventh, Morgan Shepherd. Eighth, Bobby Hamilton. Ninth, Hut Strickland. 10th, Michael Waltrip. 11 is Sterling Marlin. 12th is Dale Earnhardt. 13th, Jeff Bodine. 14th is Mark Martin. 15th is Brett Bodine. 16th is Joe Nemechek. 17th is Ricky Rudd. A number of those cars made pit stops under this caution flag, including Rudd and Earnhardt. Let's get back at it. Doyle Ford holds the green flag and now waves it. We're back racing. 16 to go.
Jeff Gordon got a huge jump there. He's trying to get away from this bunch behind him. I don't think it's going to help him much to get that jump because they're really flying down in this corner. You see Musgrave right there on the bottom, right behind him.
Terry Labonte up high around Rick Mast. Derek Cope is there battling Mast for position. That's 19th spot. So that's a battle in amongst the race leaders. Here comes Schrader to the inside of Bill Elliott right there.
Terry Labonte needs to clear these lap cars. You see him hung up on the outside there. He's losing contact with the leaders by running the outside of the racetrack.
Riding with Ken Schrader behind Dick Trickle, who's also battling with that Group 1 lap down at 20th place.
Bill's running real well. You see him, the 2 car just behind him there, the 94 car, Bill Elliott. He's running quite well into the corner there as he comes down the front straightaway.
Schrader goes all the way to the bottom to try to clear those lap cars. Rusty Wallace is not going with him. Now Wallace drops inside, and Schrader clears all but Rick Mast. Heads up move by Schrader.
See Rusty's car getting offline just a little bit. Bill's right up under him. Here comes Morgan Shepherd up on the left rear corner.
3 wide. Bobby Hamilton.
4.
Way down the bottom. Way down the bottom. 3 wide up to the tunnel turn.
And Morgan drove in on the outside in the tunnel turn.
Wow.
Oh, and he's got the 15.
Clears him.
As a promise.
Bobby's caught down low. He knew his entry into that corner was the wrong angle. We've seen what happened in the Winston Select when we saw the 3-car try that of Dale Earnhardt. He didn't quite make the corner. This time he said, I'm not going in that hard. Hamilton did.
Gordon leads it. Musgrave tries to break the draft on Terry Labonte. Doing the Neil Bonnet weave down the front straightaway here.
Boy, Terry is strong. Now, he is really flying up through there. He was hung up in traffic. Now he's clear. He's in second place and moving up.
Chevy Ford.
Didn't you say that Terry Labonte was going to be tough today, huh?
Well, I said that about a lot of cars today, but this particular car is really strong, and I wouldn't count him out yet. 3 wide right there. Somebody better check up.
Well, that's 2 separate races. It's Elliott versus Wallace, and it's Derek Cope. He's battling Rick Mast. They're both fighting for position.
Because Derek Cope and Rick Mast are a lap down. So,
right.
The other 2 are on the lead lap.
They're fighting for 18th, while Wallace and Elliott fight for 5th.
See Hamilton there in the 43 trying to pass on the outside. He makes that, and he did. I tell you, that's the muscle.
Oh, around goes 1 car. Rusty Wallace misses the end of pit wall. We stay green. Wallace drops the clutch and the hammer, and in a cloud of smoke gets back up to speed. We'll stay green.
I'll say the replay will tell you what happened there because I did not see it.
I didn't either.
Heartbreaker for Rusty Wallace. It drops him to 17th. "12 laps to go next time by. As Gordon laps past Mike Wallace, whose car owner Junie Donlevy celebrates his 700th Winston Cup race today. What happened?
Wow, he's all by himself. He just gave her a lot of throttle coming out of the corner, and the car turned around on him. It's been loose. You know, we reported earlier he's having trouble getting loose coming out of the corner, and that time it just flopped around on him.
We'll be back with the final 10 laps of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 of Pocono after this.
Dear car owners, some car repair shops have the same answer to every brake problem.
You need new brakes.
But that's not the Midas way. We'll use our written 45-step brake inspection for an accurate diagnosis. We'll explain your repair options so you can be involved in what the job will cost. And we'll give you a nationwide guarantee on brake shoes and pads for as long as you own your car. That's why it's always worth getting your brakes fixed the Midas way. The way it should be.
Coast to coast, from small communities to urban America. By building on the success of local independent businesses, this once little-known company has quietly grown surprisingly big. In fact, today it serves you at over 13,000 locations across America. More than any of these companies you already know. Citgo, the sign of quality.
Crash in turn 3. Just as we come back, that is Pancho Carter in the equipment supply number 78. He has brought the caution out here at lap 188. Pancho's wreck brings the caution flag for the 6th time today.
Wow. This changes everything now. It's going to be a drag race to the finish.
Battling back for 3rd place. To the line. Schrader outside of Ted Musgrave. You see Rusty Wallace has gone a lap down.
Sorry about that, Kenny. It wasn't before.
And we're on caution. To the garage goes Pancho Carter.
Kenny Schrader kept the power on and moved into 3rd place. So that's 3 Hendricks cars on the restart here.
Wow. There's Dave Marcus right behind Pancho Carter.
Uh-oh.
Well, I guess we don't have to tell you what happened.
Well, it's been a tough day for Dave Marcus. He crashed last week at Dover, has cracked a couple of ribs, and said he could not afford to bring a driver up here to run for him, had to run the whole race today. So Marcus, driving hurt, soldiering on. And we'll be right back to Pocono after this.
Oui, monsieur. You know, this is all in French. Oui, monsieur. Well, I have that. Oh, pour les cordons bleus, très bien.
Dave Thomas, the founder of Wendy's, is always looking for delicious new ideas.
Boy, this would be great on a toasted Kaiser bun.
And so Wendy's chicken cordon bleu sandwich was born with a whole breast filet ham, Swiss, and Grey Poupon Dijon mustard.
And for dessert? I have that. Monsieur has ordered the coche crew.
Wendy's chicken cordon bleu. Order it with fries and a drink.
From Darlington to Talladega, through Daytona, Rockingham, and Watkins Glen. In every major NASCAR race, Busch Beer recognizes the pole winner with the Busch Pole Award. Because if there's one thing we know for sure, everyone follows the leader. Busch Beer, proud sponsor and official beer of NASCAR.
He sees what they see. He knows what they know. Some say he's even got a tiny set of gills. Fishing with Orlando Wilson, today on TNN Outdoors.
We asked some real people what they thought about 89th Street Pizza, and here's just a few of their real answers.
The pizza's great. It is good pizza.
The kids love it. The price is wonderful.
It's nice and clean. They have different varieties. Video games.
That's good.
Oh, I like the price.
It's fantastic. Their pizza's really good here. The pizza. It's good.
We brought 8 people tonight just to show you how good it is.
I think it's cheap for all you can eat, really.
It's not a lot of money. I love the pizza and I love the game. Lots of fun.
Shopping made easy at Duncan's Creative Kitchens and cellular phones, etc.
For the largest selection of cellular phones and accessories in Manatee County, visit Cellular Phones, etc., an authorized agent of GTE MobileNet. Let our staff assist you in filling your every need. GTE MobileNet, more than cellular phones, cellular service.
If you're shopping for a new kitchen, Duncan's Creative Kitchens is the answer. With over 30 years' experience, Duncan specializes in remodeling, design, sales, and installation with a complete line of all wood cabinetry. Visit Duncan's Creative Kitchens and cellular phones, etc. in Palmasola Square.
9 laps to go here at Pocono International Raceway. You look at Ray Evernham, who is the Western Auto mechanic of the race, crew chief for Jeff Gordon. Had that car out front most of the day here and has to keep it out front for 9 more laps. And our RCA Pit Strategy Award brought to you by RCA, changing entertainment again for the consistently quickest pit stops all day long. John Dick, the crew chief today for Hut Strickland, receives that award from us.
Great stops all day, Bob. Yeah.
Here at TNN. As we get set for the restart next time by.
And Mike Walters there. He's still in this thing, too.
Miller Genuine Draft pit crew of the race, brought to you by Cold Filtered Miller Genuine Draft and Genuine Draft Light, taking the country by storm. Jeff Gordon's crew once again, chosen by our TNN panel of experts. The light is out atop the safety truck, all 7 of them. Lights, that is. 8 laps to go, green flag next time by. And because we have less than 10 laps to go, this will be a single file restart. All the cars in the lead lap first, then the cars that are 1 or more laps down. That will prevent The kind of Rick Mast, Derek Cope in battling in the midst of Rusty Wallace, Kenny Schrader, Bill Elliott that we saw on the last restart because we are less than 10 laps to go.
3 team cars starting out on the front.
Wow. 1, 2, 3, all owned by Rick Hendrick. Here's 4th place, Ted Musgrave, the first Ford. 5th place is Bill Elliott. 6th is Hut Strickland. 7th is Michael Waltrip. 8th, Morgan Shepherd. 9th, Sterling Marlin. In 10th, Brett Bodine. Good run today. As we get set to go, back behind them, you'll find Bobby Hamilton, Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, and Joe Nemechek, the cars on the lead lap.
Mike, I love these single car restarts. When they start back now, you don't have lap over cars on the inside to take that groove away, so it's down to the guys that have earned the spot now in the last 10 laps to show what they have.
Good point. Battling 1 lap down, Rusty Wallace, Derek Cope, Rick Mast, Steve Grissom, Dick Trickle, Ward Burton, Bobby Hillen. Then 2 laps back, Jeremy Mayfield, Ricky Craven, along with Todd Bodine and Bobby Labonte. This is it, folks. 7 laps to race. Jeff Gordon hauls them off the corner. Not yet. Not yet. Doyle says hold it down. There's the green.
Whoa.
He missed a shift?
Something happened to the 24 car on the restart there.
Yep.
Big puff of smoke from Jeff Gordon's tailpipes. Glenn, what happened?
Well, Mike, I'll make my way down to victory lane, but from here it absolutely looked like that the engine blew. It's missing real bad. He missed a gear. He did miss a gear. Let's go down to Randy.
Randy? Just missed a gear, guys, is what they're saying so far. But we're getting a little more information as we speak. I believe he might have got a little valve problem as well, so maybe it's the valve. Maybe he dropped the valve, guys.
When you miss the shift,
exactly right, buddy.
Yeah, when you miss the shift, it really goes up. They probably turned 10,000 right then.
Watch the right or left side of Jeff Gordon's car right there.
Definitely miss a shift. It's kind of hard to do with a Jericho.
Hey, give a call to Terry Labonte for not running right over top of him.
Right.
Now, Terry Labonte, we're told he is being overcome by fumes, and he says, when I come in, I need some oxygen. Let's go to Randy.
You are exactly right. He radioed the crew. He said, guys, I am not feeling well. Whatever happens, have some oxygen standing by after this race. They may have to give it to him in victory lane.
Terry Labonte's leading. I'll bet he feels better now.
Yeah, he's definitely leading. It really will help him feel better, but he hadn't won yet.
Let's give a call to Kenny Schrader, sitting there in 2nd place. He hadn't called anybody. He's on the move towards the front right now. He's fought from the back 2 or 3 times today. Now he's moving in on Terry Labonte.
Jeff Gordon will not win his 4th race of the season today. There are the leaders, 2 Chevys and a Ford. Labonte, Schrader, and Ted Musgrave in the Ford. Of them, the driver that most needs a victory, perhaps Schrader, who's gone winless for the last 120 starts, wants to pick up that Unocal bonus money for winning from the pole. Musgrave, who's never won, but they've got to catch Terry Labonte. Then they've got to beat him. 6 laps to go, or 5 laps rather.
Look at Hut Strickland making a move on the inside there. He made one look there, trying to get under Musgrave. He's up to 4th place now in the 26th car. He's really got it on the map.
2 drivers who've each been the bridesmaid and looking for the big bouquet.
He's got to run on Hut Strickland, or actually Teddy Musgrave right now.
Inside.
But what will that do to those 2 Chevrolets? Puts them further out front.
That's for sure.
Don't count Hut out, though. He's making a move right now. He pushed out just a little bit. Musgrave's trying to counter the move there on the inside as they come into the flat corner towards the front straightaway.
Clear high.
Musgrave holds him off. Jeff Gordon falls to the Pocono jinx. Only 3 drivers had led this race at halfway and gone on to win. He did not become the 4th. Labonte, 4 car lengths over Kenny Schrader. Terry Labonte, winner at Richmond. Ken Schrader trying to complete the 1-2 sweep for Rick Hendrick.
Terry Labonte started in 24th spot, now leading the race. He would be the first guy to come from that far back and win.
Just a handful of laps to go. Musgrave 3rd, fourth, Hut Strickland. Kenny Schrader has 84,600 extra reasons for wanting to win this race. That's that skins game bonus that keeps building, $7,600 a race until somebody wins from the pole.
So when you get down to it right now, Terry Labonte could care less about that, and I tell you, that's pure adrenaline right now. He does not know he's overcome by fumes right now. He's winning the race. He'll feel great until he gets out in the fresh air.
But this is the Pocono zone, and how many strange things have we seen happen here.
Terry looks like he's definitely better than Kenny right now, and we only have 2 more laps left, so kind of tough to get on. The 4 cars passing Bill Elliott for 4th or 5th.
Sterling fought his way back into contention. Now look at Michael Waltrip move in behind Bill Elliott, trying to take that spot away. He moves to the inside down the short chute. Couldn't make her happen. Bill's got his foot in it.
At the top of the day, it looked like Marlin might go stink up the whole show. He took off and built himself a big lead. Then the car went away, and they've had to fight back and have done a good job doing so.
Wow, you see those cars come by that camera. From way up here, it looks like they're running pretty slow. You see that speed shot right there on the front straightaway. Those things look like they're running 700 miles an hour through there.
There's Marlin in 5th. 6th. Back there with that group, Bill Elliott, Michael Waltrip.
Uh-oh. Schrader's got more trouble than worrying about it winning the race right now. He's got company. Musgrave's moved in on the back of him there.
Remember, it wasn't long ago that Teddy was racing against Hutt, and the 25 car was actually pulling away.
Terry Labonte had this Speedway's best come from behind win. It came in 1989 when he started 23rd. Musgrave to 2nd.
Boy, this was a replay of last week. He moved in with just a few laps to go. He's flying through here.
And Michael Waltrip battling Morgan Shepherd, and here comes Earnhardt. Where did he come from?
Flag 1.
White flag. Suddenly, Earnhardt's car is ablaze with power as he sweeps past Michael Waltrip.
See Sterling Marlin moving under Hut Strickland, getting in the corner there, taking that spot away.
Wow. The 16 car is probably the best car in the racetrack besides the 4 car. It's just too far to go in this amount of time. And we're on the white flag lap right now, and Terry Labonte pretty much has everything in hand.
Doyle Ford reaches for the checkered flag, and around turn number 3 will come Terry Labonte with Ted Musgrave trying to close in, but Labonte looks to be poised to pick up his 2nd win of the season and the 15th of his career. Single file off turn 3, very close from 3rd on back. The victory. Terry Labonte wins it, 15th of his career. Ted Musgrave 2nd. Schrader holds off Sterling Marlin and Hut Strickland. And we get in the whole 500 miles.
Boy, oh boy. Terry Labonte, when he gets in the lead, that's one of the toughest men I've ever seen to make any ground on.
Texas Terry Labonte, the Iceman, is the winner of the UAW GM Teamwork 500. You'll meet him in victory lane after this.
This summer, Napa's keeping America running at about 200 miles per hour with the Road to the Championship sale. You could win an incredible trip to the Napa 500 in November, as well as Napa racing jackets and more. Also, pick up Autolite resistor spark plugs, just 44 cents, and Colorline spray paint for only $139. But hurry, these days everything's going fast at Napa.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
You want to know how to choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASC certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a flash of speed. It's a measure of skill. A test of guts. That's why the true spirit of NASCAR lies not in the machine, but in the man who drives it. We're proud to be part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Peerless Faucet didn't come up with the idea for a spout long and high enough to reach over and into large objects. We merely adapted it for the kitchen. High-rise faucet designs by Peerless. Get more out of your faucet than just water.
At Stanley, we test the quality of our sliding mirror doors by opening and closing them over 100,000 times. This doesn't make for great entertainment, but it does make a great closet door. The Accent Mirror Door from Stanley.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway. TNN's live coverage. Terry Labonte has rolled into victory lane. Glenn Jarrett's with him.
Okay, well, Terry getting congratulations from his crew here. He's a little bit winded. He was calling for a little bit of oxygen. Terry started from 27th, furthest anybody has ever come back. Started today, it just didn't look like this would happen, did it?
Well, I held the record before for starting the farthest back and winning here, so we weren't too worried about starting back there. I don't know, we went and talked to Kenny Schrader and Jeff Gordon and them guys, and they helped us out after qualifying on our car, and it was really good. And it was a shame Jeff had that problem there because he had us beat. He had to race one, just dominated all day long. But it's a great win for our Kellogg Chevrolet, and you know, I'd just like to thank all the people, Rick Hendrick, Jimmy Johnson, my crew chief Gary Dehart does a great job every week, and you know, Valvoline, GMAC, all the people that make it happen for us.
Well, I understand that Gary doesn't normally really like this place that well. We heard what you said to him on the last when you took the checker flag there.
Well, I know it. We were talking in the truck, and you know, if we could have got a 10th place yesterday, we'd have been happy and just gone home. But this isn't one of our favorite racetracks. But I'll tell you what, I think we're going to bring this Kellogg Chevrolet home and just let it sit here and bring it back just like it is for the next race.
That might not be a bad idea. Okay, let's go back upstairs to Mike.
Glenn, it's the 5th 1-2 finish for Hendrick Motorsports. The first came in 1988. Kenny Schrader ahead of Jeff Bodine. 1989 at Daytona, Darrell Waltrip winning over Schrader. 1993 at Michigan, Ricky Rudd beat Jeff Gordon. And last year at Richmond, Terry Labonte finished 1-2 ahead of Jeff Gordon. It's the first Labonte-Schrader 1-2 finish for Rick Hendrick's team. We'll talk to some more of the drivers who had good finishes in today's race at Pocono when TNN's live coverage continues right after this word.
Went out to buy a car. Dad said good luck. Saw my new Ford Ranger and said, son, that's a truck. My girlfriend loves the new inside. Now all she wants to do is ride. Mom sees the airbag and takes heart. Finally her boy's getting smart. My best friend pops the hood. Look for horsepower. That's good. Well, my boss says it takes the cake. A truck with anti-lock brakes. So yeah, my Ford Ranger's really hot stuff. Now Dad asks, can I borrow the truck?
I happen to like things spicy. I'm talking spicy, bold, peppery. A1 Bold, that's what I'm in the mood for.
A1 Bold, it's how steak is done spicy.
No trendy health club. No $60 shorts. No bull. Speed Stick's no-nonsense formula gives you 110% protection. Like you, it never quits.
5 minutes. Live NASCAR action on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer.
Oh yeah? Watch this.
Miller Genuine Draft presents the Win with a Driver sweepstakes.
Check it out.
You could win a trip for 2 to one of these Winston Cup races covered live by TNN Motorsports.
Be part of the action.
Meet Rusty Wallace. Tour the pits with the Penske Miller Genuine Draft race team. And if Rusty wins the race, you win $5,000. To enter, send a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to this address. And remember, there's 7 races, so you've got 7 chances to win. Get your entry in by June 23rd and tune into race day July 2nd to find out if you're going to the Slick 5300. If you don't win this time, your entry is still eligible for the next drawing.
See you at the track.
Brought to you by Napa Auto Parts, Split Fire Spark Plugs, and Purolator.
Buckle up. The flat turns of a Milwaukee Mile mean tire wear. But last year it was just good, clean racing. Until Ricky Craven tried to drive circles around the rest. With 15 laps left, race leader Elton Sawyer got hammered by the Stanley Tools Lumina, and Mike Wallace held on to take the win. It's the Busch Grand National Sears Auto Center 250, July 2nd, 2 p.m., 1 Central on TNN Motorsports. It doesn't get any closer.
Welcome back to Pocono. Well, now the real race begins. Everybody gets on the road, goes to home, or off to Michigan for next week's Winston Cup race. We didn't have time to talk to Ted Musgrave when he finished third last week. Let's talk to him as the second-place finisher this week. Randy?
Well, we're going to start calling him Terrible Ted Musgrave because I tell you, he's been tough lately. Another great run for you, Howard, and Jack Roush.
Yeah, I'll tell you, the Family Channel team's really come together this year. And, you know, like you just said it, you know, it's a brand-new car, never seen a racetrack before, never tested it, brought it here to Pocono, and no practice on Saturday at all to come out with a second-place finish. That just tells you how bad them guys want to win and how hard they work in the shop to make sure everything is exactly right.
But not only that, you have to get it right on race day, and I know you chased it and you made the right decisions on the chassis today.
Yeah, like I say, no practice on Saturday made a little bit of a guessing game for everybody, but we had our car pretty fully adjustable. You know, we had rubbers, and I think every spring, and the track bar could be adjusted, air pressure. We just worked with every bit of it today and just got the right combination, but need a little more time.
Congratulations, the win right around the corner.
I hope so.
Randy, tell him he's up to fourth in the Winston Cup standings right now. Here's the way they finished today at Pocono. Labonte, Musgrave, and Schrader the first three. Sterling Marlin and Hut Strickland swapped spots on the last lap. Bill Elliott in sixth, Morgan Shepherd seventh. Dale Earnhardt took eighth on the final lap from Michael Waltrip, and Brett Bodine finished in the top 10. 11th to Mark Martin, 12th to Joe Nemechek, Ricky Rudd, Jeff Bodine, Bobby Hamilton, all on the lead lap. Then Jeff Gordon, Rusty Wallace, Derek Cope, Steve Grissom, and Ward Burton 20th. Rick Mass, Dick Trickle, Bobby Hillen, Todd Bodine, Jeremy Mayfield, and Ricky Craven. Bobby Labonte, Lake Speed, Chuck Bound, and John Andretti finishing 30th. Then it was Dave Marcus, Mike Wallace, Greg Sachs, Jimmy Horton with Jimmy Spencer in relief. And out of the race, Pancho Carter, Jeff Burton, Robert Presley, Dale Jarrett, Kyle Petty, Randy LaJoy, Jimmy Spencer, and Darrell Waltrip. Glenn Jarrett?
Well, Mike, I've caught up with Ray Evernham, of course, the crew chief for Jeff Gordon's DuPont Chevrolet, and you were already elected the Miller Genuine Draft Pit Crew Awards. You guys did great work. It's a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow, but you had them covered.
Well, you know, I thank God every day. I'm just happy to be part of this team. And when you got a driver, Jeff Gordon's done some great things for us. And, you know, we're going to make mistakes. Everybody keeps saying championship, championship. You know, we're going to make mistakes. And we had a good car. We feel a lot better than we did at Dover last week. We had a terrible car. This week we had a good car, and we didn't win the race. You know, this is a young team. Jeff's a great little young driver, and we're going to have more days.
Well, they certainly will. They were awesome. This is just a minor temporary setback. You can bet next week at Michigan, and every week after that they'll be strong. Congratulations on the award, Ray Evernham.
Jeff Gordon third in the Winston Cup point standings, 123 out of Dale Earnhardt's lead. Well, the clouds are rolling in here to Pocono. We're about to roll out, but we'll be right back.
Filtered Miller Genuine Draft, the cold one. You know the beer, you know the taste. With Miller Genuine Draft, the world's a very cool place.
Start it on up, go behind the wheel, move it down the road, now see how it feels, yeah. You got to treat it real good. Treat it so fine. Put the pedal to the metal, mile after mile. Keep it humming all the time. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
From Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines to Haviland Formula 3 motor oil and Texaco Antifreeze coolant, there's no better place to take your car than to the star.
You got to treat it real good. Ooh, you got to treat it so fine. The pedal to the metal, mile after mile. Keep it humming all the time. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star.
The new Ford Contour is full of great ideas at a great price. Exciting ideas, like Wonderlink suspension for crisp, responsive handling. Comforting ideas, like air conditioning and Contour's exclusive Micron air filter. Safe ideas, like dual airbags and remote heated mirrors. Sound ideas, like an AM/FM stereo cassette. And maybe the best idea, you get all this for just $14,670. Great ideas at a great price. The totally new Ford Contour.
Today's exclusive coverage of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 on TNN has been brought to you by cold-filtered Miller Genuine Draft, making the world a very cool place. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car. Take it to the star. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Welcome back to Pocono. Let's get a final word from Randy down in the garage.
Hut Strickland with another great run. He's not feeling well, guys, but he's got a smile on his face anyway, and deservedly so.
Well, thanks, Randy. You know, I tell you, I can't say enough for all these guys on this whole entire Quaker State team. You know, the car was off a little bit today, and the engine was off a little bit, and I got off a little bit there at the end. I kind of, you know, started feeling a little bit sick in the car and what have you, but, you know, it was a great run. I tell you, my hat goes off to all those people. I mean, they've been doing a great job on the pit stops and everything.
Can you put it in words what this has meant to you to come back to this series after being out of this sport and people maybe saying maybe Hut wouldn't be back, and now you're not only back, but you're doing well?
Well, I tell you, you know, I can't really say enough. I mean, these guys give me an awful good opportunity, and, you know, for a driver who everybody wrote off and, you know, couldn't drive a lick, you know, hopefully we're kind of reproving ourselves a little bit here today, but, you know, I just can't say enough. It was a great run, and, you know, I want to say hello to Taylor and Tabitha back home and my whole entire family, you know, back in Alabama, and everybody in Calera. You know, just it was a good run for us, and this is for you guys.
You know they're happy back in Alabama, Mike.
You bet, Randy. Third straight top 10 finish for Hut Strickland. Winston Cup point standings look like this. Dale Earnhardt holds on to the lead. He came in here leading by 100 points. That's chopped down to 77. Sterling Marlin still second. Jeff Gordon still third. Ted Musgrave moves up to fourth. Mark Martin slides one spot to fifth. Bobby Labonte will stay sixth. Terry Labonte moves up to seventh, dropping Rusty Wallace to eighth. Michael Waltrip climbs to ninth, and Bobby Hamilton drops into the 10th spot after 13 races. Well, quite a show, and as usual here in the Pocono zone, sometimes things don't always end up as it looks like they're going to.
Mike, is so competitive anymore. I mean, the last 15 or 20 laps there was 5 or 6 cars with any break at all could have made a win out of this thing today. And Ernie, it was fun working with you today. I think you were in the ball game from the time we started till it was over, and it was a lot of fun working with you. And Mike, as usual, you always do a good job.
Buddy's got his running shoes on. NHRA Today, tonight at 6:30 p.m. Eastern. You'll catch up on all the latest drag racing news with Steve Evans, Dave McClellan, and Bob Fry.
And those guys in the pits that everybody takes for granted, they work their backsides off for the whole race. Thank you much down there too, guys.
Well, we're headed for Milwaukee, up there to the Milwaukee Mile to do the Busch Series race, and on Friday night, July 1st, 7-kilometer fun run and walk up there. We just got our T-shirts today. We've been challenged by Chad Little's team to run in this. Buddy's looking to find some ringers so we can walk it. But if you'd like to participate or pledge a donation to help finish Allen Kulwicki Park in Greenfield, Wisconsin, call toll-free 1-800-350-ALLEN. If the mailbox is full, try again later in the week, and they'll get you all the information. It's a very worthy cause, and we all want to participate to help honor the memory of the late Winston Cup champion. Well, the traffic begins to file out here. Ernie, the day didn't end up much like we thought it would at the start.
I tell you, you know, that's what Winston Cup racing is all about. You know, we really couldn't predict who was going to win the race. First of all, we didn't have practice to actually know what was going on, but I tell you, the guys did a great job. All the guys did, and we had a great race. I had a lot of fun up here in the booth, and looking forward to the next time.
And most of the teams, even with the limited practice time, seem to hit the setup pretty well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They had a lot of records to go back on, and we've raced here for a lot of years. You know, it's not a new track, so I think that's what a lot of teams did.
Well, there's a lot more. Super Truck by Craftsman, Busch Grand National, and Winston Cup Racing coming your way on TNN. So stay with us through the season, because you just can't get any closer than with TNN Motorsports.
Dale Jarrett, I want to see you go the whole distance next race, because, I mean, nobody can have that kind of luck week after week.
Let's hope not. Folks, we'll talk to you next from the Milwaukee Mile and Busch Grand National Racing there. That's always a thrill. As part of Summerfest up there in Milwaukee. That's 4th of July weekend. Hope you've enjoyed our live presentation of the UAW GM Teamwork 500 at Pocono. For Glenn Jarrett and Randy Pemberton, for Buddy Baker and Ernie Irvin, I'm Mike Joy, congratulating Terry Labonte on his 15th career Winston Cup victory. So long, everybody, from Pocono.